everyone. Here we go. Hi, I'm Natasha Darce, and I'm here in Boston for the Iron Gate Exhibition 2014. We have about 120 participants this weekend, and now we are going to have some finals for some of the events. We still have a few more tournaments tomorrow, and we also have some exhibition events that we're going to have this evening, so sit back and be ready. So now I'm going to turn it over to our commentators.
Welcome to Iron Gate Exhibition 2015. We have an incredible lineup for you, and we're going to get things rolling in a moment. Before we get too far ahead, one of the things I really wanted to do was give a shout out really to the community. Thank you for everybody's patience. Thank you very much for really coming and attending the event. We have attendance certainly from around the world, both in terms of fighters and instructors, and also this year, especially in terms of artisans, people who craft amazing things, both in terms of protective gear and swords and weapons and everything necessary for our pursuit in HEMA. So one of the things that's really awesome is this year, one of our friends, good friends, Eric Wiggins, actually crafted some custom leather books. These are amazing. And these are actually going to be given out as prizes. And what's even more amazing is that this year, last minute, we were actually able to get Eric to come join us. So here's Eric Wiggins. We're going to actually bring him on and interview him. All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Excellent. Eric, I'm so pleased that you're able to join us this year.
I'm happy I'm here too.
Yes. Your beard's looking even more amazing than usual.
I work a little bit on it. I take care of HEMA as much as I take care of my beard. So.
Excellent. So can you tell us a little bit about these books that you make?
So yeah, I made this. They're awesome because I made them.
Yeah, right.
They have leather, of course, and this awesome switch thing, because they're awesome. Sorry, I got hair in my nose. And yeah, they have paper, like everywhere. I can't do this anymore.
Mariana Lopez. I think that was a good 20 seconds. I'm impressed. I was betting kind of 10, 15 before you'd lose it.
I don't know how I handle that. Eric, we love you.
Well, obviously.
This is respect.
Right.
If you're not happy with it, you can fence me later.
Nice.
I just have to say, I have a question. How the hell those guys handle hair in the nose?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh God.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing. Little TMI. Okay. All right. So, with that out of the way, I think you're ready to kind of take us on our way.
Yes. So, well, first of all, welcome everyone. So, Jeff already take that part of that. I would like to introduce you to Jeff, because he already introduced me, and we'll give a huge thank to everyone who is part of this amazing live stream. And I don't know, I feel like before we start anything, we should start talking of a very important subject for HEMA. Recently we have this amazing New York Times thing coming out.
Yep.
And this discussion about what is HEMA start going on, right?
Yep.
So
for our audience.
So for our audience, we are inviting here Axel, Peterson, and Nathan. So if they can come, please. You can cheer them like, yay! Woo! Woo! Sorry guys, you will have to share a nice chair together.
Oh, great.
You're coming matching. That's cute. So, I love you guys. So, talking about HEMA. What is HEMA? You two are very important in the tournament scene, and there has been a lot of comments about whether HEMA is or is not something. Many people is a little bit concerned that HEMA is portrayed as only tournaments. So, from your views, from your opinions, what is HEMA, or a slight scratch of what's one of all the things we do?
Well, I think it might be a bit normal that the tournaments get a lot of attention right now, because that's easiest to grasp for the outside audience, and maybe it's to some part because this New York Times article, they actually label what they present in the article sport, but they also do a good job of presenting everything else. And as far as we are concerned, it's just one part of it. I compete because I learned so much from it. It's a pressure test. But I've never met anyone who is good at competition who hasn't had to go back and study the sources. I mean, there are no other way to acquire the skills that we need in order to defense well.
Anything you would like to comment, Nathan?
I just think I think the tournaments are important because they allow you to stress test the techniques that you train day in and day out during your regular practices, and they provide a more realistic environment, so to speak, of what works and what doesn't. Because a technique that might work at whatever sparring speed and intensity you do may not actually work at full force with real things at stake. So
I think it's also important to remember that the type of culture that we have cultivated in HEMA, as it is right now, we are as a community searchers or seekers in a way. We all want the art, and a fencer who comes up and is just throwing cheap shots, he or she might be lucky for a couple of times, but the community as a whole does not condone that. People expect to see technical, beautiful, true fencing, and if someone does not present that, he doesn't become a popular fencer.
So you might agree with me that a tournament is like 20 minutes of a year of practice, right? You have to have a lot of training to do something in a tournament. Like you just can't arrive there with a sword and whack each other. I mean, you can do it, but it's not very smart. So do you have any comment about all the process behind? Is HEMA an historical part when you have to find sources? Is HEMA a athletic thing of getting stronger, like more things before tournaments? What else can we see in this scene?
Well, I mean, it's all of those. It's that's what makes HEMA so beautiful. I mean, it's a constant feedback, and giving and taking from the research and interpretive work, the technical work, the free fencing application, and it goes back and forth. And it's important, I think, that we need to keep an open mind about what works and what doesn't. For example, the last 6 months, we've seen a lot of people being able to, in the longsword fencing, being able to pull off reversed hand grip styles or grips and techniques that people couldn't do it 5 years ago, and we thought it was our interpretation that was wrong. But as it turns out, now a lot of people pull it off a lot of times, and it was our collective skill that wasn't there yet. So we need to think in terms of years and decades when it comes to bringing this art back.
I can't really add anything to it. I mean, it's like Axel said, it's not just about tournaments. Tournaments are a facet of what we do, and it's an important aspect because, like I said earlier about the stress testing, but it's not just about tournaments. There's so much more in it than that.
Okay, so thank you guys. Actually, we're gonna have another meeting about this talk more at the very end of the live stream, so we can discuss a little bit more about the subject. Thank you so much. And now, if you want to know, we're having cutting footage. So thank you guys. But before the cutting footage, we have a cutting per roll that we're gonna start playing. So please keep your eyes in here.
When he first started collecting, his collection ended up in his home. He'd fill up the hallways, the dining room, his study. There have been some fancy bathtub to the very end when you should do more with
My name is Steve Hirsch. I'm from Athena School of Arts. I put together the conversation about this tournament is fancy tournament for one.
If we can strike a spark, it's on the story of art. However, there are points in our collection, and in fact, I'll show you my favorite pieces. That
Another aspect of understanding and how sword art works.
the night
Because what
watchman
we do
in
here
the
in the ring,
sketch
we
was
don't get
John Higgins.
that
Rockwell
would
was
seriously
so
somebody
captivated by the museum that he put himself in the picture instead.
The cutting tournament does
So
not
the
in and
night
of itself
watchman
take the aspects of a
Tell here
what it does
the
is
first
stress
off the line,
tests
John
specific
Higgins helped
characteristics
develop
that we believe to be valuable.
The Japanese consul
related
to
to
see this
what goes
helmet
on,
to come to this museum because he had never seen one before in Japan.
The material that you're going to see in the video being used,
Defining
it's also
parts
used
of
in
our
Japanese
European collection
for the same purpose.
are bladed weapons from the
And
Japanese.
material is
Here
quite
at the Higgins we can
we're
find
doing
sort
cutting,
of
supplies,
armor and weapons.
improve
New helmet was for
it's not intended simulation of any kind of
so when you look at the helmet, you're
standard
surrounded
that
by
gives us useful feedback.
Japanese
Why we use it, that's
telling
about it.
a much greater story.
So
a richer
that's why we
story.
have the cutting
The Lister
tournament.
Museum isn't just looking for, this world
Let's go talk first
collection of
about
armor.
basic cutting
They're
tournament. Here,
looking also
there
to
were
us
cutting tournament,
use
a
the
basic
arms and
cutting
armor
tournament,
and how we
and
tell
an advanced cutting
stories.
tournament. We
It's not
had
just going to be putting the suits of armor on display.
19 people participate
You
in the
will be
basic
able to see
tournament,
knights
and
clicking in the halls.
people in the advanced, 7 people in the advanced. And we divided this up because cutting is an activity which has a very large range of skill, just like with fencing, but it also has a certain amount of cost associated with time and materials. The advanced cutting tournament cost more to enter
When
than
he
the
first
basic
started
tournament does,
collecting, his collection
whereas that
ended
kind
up
of
in his
differential
home.
doesn't exist
So,
for any of the other
he'd fill
tournaments
up
that
the
we run here.
hallways,
So
the
I understand
dining
the
room,
desire of
counts of
when
the armor
still
that
skill level person. For them,
very end was my father told me, you should do something more with the collection than just putting
way
maybe we'll start a
turn it
share
out,
my with everyone.
the first place prize tournament included entry to the advanced cutting tournament,
Showing off his
and
collection
the guy who did that
and it was
also
if
then
we strike us with a visit,
advanced tournament.
then we're rewarded. It's specifically
Clearly he had
focused
what it
on the
took.
story of arms and armor.
And
However,
he
there
just
are
entered the
points
wrong
in the
tournaments.
collection
When he'll know better for next year. He also won't be allowed
that
for the
also
next
reflect
tournament either.
and his
Yeah.
attitude and his passions.
So
The Night Watchman in the sketch was originally going
let's
to
go
be
ahead and
John
talk about the actual
but
participants in
so captivating the museum
from
that he
basic.
put himself in the picture
No,
instead.
no.
So the Night Watchman is actually a self-portrait of the Night Watchman. This is for the U.S. Army. The Japanese consul helmet had to come to this museum because he had never seen one before in Japan. Some of the other real supports of our non-European collection are some of these bladed weapons from the Congo. Here at the Higgins at the at Higgins Higgins
split, which he does. That one's actually one of the more challenging elements of this particular round, and only a handful of the total number of people who participated in it can split that top piece. It seems like it would be easy, but it's actually much more challenging than it seems. And part of the reason why it's challenging is because it's a very narrow target. If you hit off center, you're not going to get credit for that cut.
So, well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when you see the cuttings, you see that basically it makes like a straight line. If it makes a curve, it's not a good cut.
So, I developed a rule set here that attempts to minimize sort of these kinds of subjective elements. If you're curving your cuts, you're not going to succeed as often, okay? So as a judge, I'm not looking to see whether or not you got curves in your cuts and certain other sort of technical faults like that. And this has to do with sort of differences in philosophy on how to judge cutting. Another tournaments run by Mike Edelson use a different kind of judging standard. I applaud the idea of there being multiple standards for rule sets because different rule sets will emphasize different characteristics. I think that's a very valuable and useful thing for our community, because I don't want people to be able to train to a specific rule set.
So what are we watching next?
So this is Paul Alardi's final. He attempts a very challenging cut with his hands crossed to the short edge for his special cut. It's a cut that I couldn't do. So the fact that he didn't pull it off here, I don't really think is something we should think of as being too much against him. It was a very challenging choice in terms of what to attempt for this. He did well enough that he made it this far. He got 82 points overall for the event. Next, we're going to look at John Martinez. Paul Alardi was from Forte Swordplay, which is the local group and is one of the groups that is helping host this particular event. John Martinez is another competitor from the New York Historical Fencing Association and Academy de Heilige Schwerter, the New York City branch of that. So if we look at his video here, he has two very basic Oberhau that he does very well. The Unterhau, one of the basic difficulties that exists with the Unterhau is making sure that you don't pull the target up with it. He does split the vertical target well, so that works out well. Throwing the Unterhau so that you don't pull the target off with you requires you to develop an exceptional speed with the cut. And so it's very typical that in intermediate level cutters, taking the mat off instead of cutting all the way through it is a typical kind of limitation in terms of where they still need to develop skill. John Martinez's final round. Again, the basic format of this is he does a crooked cut, and then he does his cuts out of his different guards very well. And his Mittelhau. Afterwards, he cuts the apple target. Very few of the people hit this freestanding apple target and manage to cut all the way through it. It's a very small piece, which makes it very light. The lighter it is, the more quickly it's just gonna, the more easily it's just gonna fly away. And so it's another aspect of this where how fast you throw the cut is very important in determining how well your cut succeeds. The last competitor we're going to show off from the basic is Isaiah Sampson. Isaiah Sampson is the third competitor from NIFA and AHS, which is their New York City location, as I mentioned before. So if you're unsure who to train cutting with, I think the results of this tournament speak for themselves in that regard. Train with the NIFA guys, okay? So he does very well here in this initial round here. He gets both of his Oberhau. Again, like a lot of the competitors do, once he gets to the Unterhau, he ends up catching the target and doesn't complete the Unterhau. He takes the mat off. Now we can go ahead and take a look at his footage from the final round of the basic tournament. And as I mentioned before, the person who won the basic final advanced to the next round here. So you're going to see the performance that got him into the advanced tournament here. So one thing that's worth noting is that the descending cut that he threw from his upper hanger wasn't this large moulinet action, which is actually the way I would throw that cut because I find it easier. He instead throws this very short arc cut, which is actually substantially more challenging to do. And so I am definitely impressed at his ability to pull that off. His crumpow looks odd because he's left-handed, which I didn't realize until most of the way through the tournament.
Wait, that looks funny.
So this is one of the things. In a two-handed sword art, the difference between left and right isn't as big a deal as it is in like sword and shield or a single-handed sword art. And we can also see he does a reasonable job cutting the apple, but it wasn't quite a complete cut there. So that was Isaiah Sampson's performance in the final of the basic, and that gave him a total score of 142. John Martinez had come in at 106. Paul Alardi was 82 points, and Joe Cerante was 81 points. So Isaiah Sampson moved forward. It's worth noting at this time that the event organizer, Jeff Sy, also entered the basic tournament, did very well in his first round, and this certainly could have turned out differently had Jeff Sy been logistically able to participate in the final. I had this moment where I was standing there being like, where's Jeff? Oh, Jeff's out getting lunch. I suppose lunch is important enough. And so the tournament could have turned out a little bit differently if Jeff had been able to participate. So that's basically how the basic tournament went.
Well, hunger is always a very good excuse, right?
Hunger was a very good excuse. I'm sure that the people who were waiting for lunch think that was the correct choice.
He has to take a lot of care of it. I'm sorry, Jeff, but you're tiny, so if he doesn't eat, he's not gonna grow anymore. I love you, Jeff.
All right, so now we're gonna.
I'm sorry.
So with heels on, are you the same height as him?
I'm taller.
You're taller than him.
Taller.
Excellent, good choice. Now I understand why you wear the heels.
So
the advanced tournament. So the advanced tournament, we had Isaiah Sampson, Justin Apperson, Benjamin Hawkins, and Tim Kaufman make it to the finals for the advanced tournament. And I want to see about showing off some of the highlights from their performances. The advanced tournament was 6 stages, so it's a lot of footage for each individual person here. So let's see what's going to be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What?
So round 2 of the advanced tournament, we had a special new kind of thing we did where we had a hanging target. Justin Apperson's round 2 performance, he comes up on the hanging target, and so if we pull up the footage of this, what we see is a target where it's being suspended from above, and they have to hit it as it is swinging around, which creates a completely novel kind of challenge for the fighters to deal with. It moves around randomly after you hit it, so it's not just as simple as the target is standing still. This is one of those things that was introduced in cutting tournaments this year that I really like that we were able to introduce. Long Point approached this in one way. This was a different way of doing it. Justin Apperson also managed to succeed at throwing a special cut against that moving target, so he decided to make the game more difficult for himself.
I should be good at that one. As a Mexican, I kick a lot of piñata, so I'm
I'm glad you made the piñata joke and not me, okay? Just, all right. And so, let's see.
So moving next.
And let's look at Tim Kaufman's video from his round 2 against the hanging target. So Tim Kaufman did excellently overall, and this is one of the rounds in which he shined very brightly. So he also executed special cuts against each of his targets. So instead of just going for the simple cuts, which is what I would have done in that situation, is what I had done in the various testing that we had done leading up to this, He pulls off a crooked cut, a shield how, and a Zverkow against these targets. The Zverkow is a cut that I can't do against like a firmly planted target, so his ability to throw it against one that's swinging wildly like that is impressive, and is definitely something that we should all be very gratified to see, that there are people who are working to that level in the tournament, and I hope that that sort of thing serves as a inspiration to people in this particular thing. I'm going to show a little bit more footage of Tim Kaufman now, because the next stage, stage 3, was feints. And
while you search for feints,
yeah.
I will fight for a second and disappear.
So the feints was another challenge that we added this year, wherein we wanted you to do things that were more like what you actually do in combat sometimes. So you move from one target, from feinting to one cut, and then throwing the next cut. The last piece of footage I'm going to show here, because apparently we're running short on time in terms of showing footage, and this was entirely pre-recorded, is I want to show the final round for Tim Kaufman, because he just about broke my plan for the tournament in the process of doing so. So in the final round here, there's 3 separate targets set up. Hitting these horizontal targets that are on top is a very high degree of challenge.
AKA complicated?
It's not just complicated, it's also requires just the best possible skill. He's also got to throw combos of cuts here. So he messes up a few of the cuts early on, but then he pulls it together. He doesn't let that bother him. He pulls off these combos of cuts. He throws a successful number, very large number of cuts. The last target that he's going to cut, the red one that you see on the right of the screen, is 5 layers of textile, 2 of which are heavy-duty rainproof wool.
Wow.
So this is what a normal person would wear in terms of Blossfectin unarmored fighting. And if you watch this video here, you can see that he just about severs it in 2. And so that is...
You not being able to do homework because you can no longer...
This. Okay, This is the damage he did to this piece. He split this thing nearly in 2. This is a ridiculous amount of damage, and when I wrote up the rules for this, I assumed that no one would get close to this. So he almost broke the conduct of the tournament. So the final results for the advanced final came down to Isaiah Sampson in 4th place with 141 points. Justin Apperson in 3rd place with 204 points. Benjamin Hawkins in 2nd place with 446 points. And Tim Kaufman winning the advanced final with 530 points. Overall, I'm very impressed with the skill of the competitors in this tournament, and I'm glad to see such a high bar being set by their performance.
Well, they're advanced. They better do, or you will cut them. If you don't...
They're better at this than I am.
Yeah,
no, they're better at this than I am, which I'm happy to be able to say.
Okay, it's time for you to go to practice.
Yes.
So,
I will go practice then. Thank you.
Go practice right now, and we're gonna have a very, very quick interview to Mr. Tristan. He's a very popular person when it comes to cutting.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Are you popular?
In Mexico, yeah, sure.
You have to say yes. So the reason we're inviting Tristan is because as someone who knows how to cut and as someone who teaches, you have a very good knowledge about mechanics, or at least you give importance to mechanics.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, first of all, I'm not going to ask you why it's important, unless you think it's overly necessary to go to that part. But for me the question is, what is the challenging part of pulling off mechanics?
I can kind of answer both of those in the same way. I think one of the main challenges as a HEMA practitioner is there is a bit of disconnect between how tournament fighting works and how cutting works, because they are 2 sometimes separate kind of mechanical sets. You see a lot of very fast tournament fighters who are using a different skill set involving kind of a push-pull with the hands, and they can effect very quick strikes. They can get their defenses where they need to be very quickly, but not necessarily with the same kind of cutting efficacy that you would get with a relatively slower, although maybe negligible, speed difference, but with a kind of full stroke that would sever something. So for me and how I teach, I try to pair those things as close as possible, and this is again to drop Mike Edelson's name, who taught me, of course, and this is how I'm continuing teaching, is to use sparring, use cutting, and use kind of isolated technique drills, basically just to reinforce one another and just kind of validate each other and try to get the whole package as close to possible.
Yeah, I mean, that really makes sense to me, because if we're really trying to pull this off as it should be, it doesn't make any sense that you're amazing pulling off techniques if they won't do much damage to your opponent. So we want to mix the skill of being able to get you rid of your arm so you don't kill me,
right,
with the skill of how to do it. So it's the how do I reach there without being killed, and how when I'm there actually kill you, right?
Absolutely.
So that's very, like, for me it's very important.
And also to do it with historically appropriate techniques.
Is if you want to be historical, you need to know how to cut, right?
Sure.
Do you agree or do not agree with me that mechanics are not very taken care of in general? Or that's playing with fire?
That's a loaded question, I think, but I think there are different schools of thought. Of course, with the source material that we have, not a lot of attention is given to, step one, here's how to use a sword. It's all the kind of tips and techniques for people who already understand how swords work, how bladed weapons work. So the whole HEMA community is coming from different angles, trying to fill in the gaps. And we have, even here, we have Christian Troskler, who kind of comes from more of a Chinese martial art background. Of course, Michael Edelson is coming from a Japanese sword art background. You have people coming from a wrestling background. So, all the pieces are there, and I think the community as a whole is kind of building towards kind of a comprehensive understanding of body mechanics as we need it to work for, HEMA, essentially.
I totally agree with you. Now, I just would like to take this time to mention one of our sponsors. I don't know if you know them. Do you know Spes?
Of course, yes.
So Spes is good.
Spes is excellent, yes.
Spes is great.
I know a lot of my students at NIFA have a lot of Spes gear. We certainly use it and put it through its paces, and it's come out the other end. Yeah,
they're donating material to the prizes, which is fun, because I need Spes stuff, So I will try to pretend I'm some other fighter and win and get the Spes for me. But yes, Spes is one of our sponsors. Thank you so much for getting us protected and not dying, because this guy right here who knows mechanics, please use him as a tool to check out that his cuttings don't go through your gear, which I'm probably it's good.
And my students too. I mean, I have a pinky fracture that tells the tale of why we need protective equipment. So thank you again, Spes.
So thank you, Spes, and thank you, Tristan.
Yeah, thank you.
You're free of my annoyment.
No, good to see you.
Good to see you.
All right, take care.
Go cut someone who's cutting. And now we're moving to more fun stuff. Exhibition sword and buckler, please. So we're having very two well-known people in this area, Pim Terminiello and Axel Peterson. We're gonna give us an exhibition of sword and buckler, or as I like to call it, the annoying tiny shield. And I mean, for whoever doesn't practice sword and buckler, believe me, that little tiny thing, it's overly annoying to fight against if your fighter knows how to use them. So we're moving to that. We're having our handsome or amazing, do you have side judging? Refereeing? Yes. Our fighters are placed, and then comes the excitement. No, that scares me. So one of the reasons I find this complicated, and pardon to all the people who's good at it, is that I'm terrible having two things at the same time in my hand. So one is like you're trying to hit the other one while not getting hit, as in every weapon, but with two hands, which confuses me, but apparently it doesn't confuse these two, who look very comfortable in their own skill with fighting. And we have 30 seconds left for them to kick each other. So what I like about this kind of exhibitions, like getting rid of the judging and stopping the motion and everything, is that you see how everything works like when you're very fluid. I mean, of course, many of those wounds will just kick you in the floor, maybe, or have you fighting, bleeding, and that will probably make you slow down. But the thing is, the fluidity of this is awesome, and yes, I'm amazed. I want to fight like that. So now we are getting our awesome or amazing our shorty Jeff Sai, and he doesn't expect this. Do you remember that you're talking to me, Jeff?
Sure.
Good.
I'm always happy to talk to you.
So I'm not gonna make introductions again, so you already know.
No, I think.
So we're about to enter to the tournaments.
Right.
To the Dagger Tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And with this tournament and others, we're using a format that has been very commented, very talked, very worked, which is counted blows.
Right, counted blows. I think in HEMA, a lot of people know about after blows, the convention where once someone gets hit, we wait and give the other person sort of an opportunity to respond with a after blow or a revenge strike, but then we stop the action there. So that is a common element that has been used in a lot of HEMA tournaments, and it's a historical element, and that's one of the really important things that helps develop HEMA skill. But there are other historical elements, tournament rules that we have discovered that are really useful also for trying to run a tournament, and one of these is the counted blow concept. So rather than stopping the action after a single blow lands, each fighter is actually required to throw a certain number of blows, and until that number has been reached, the action basically continues. So the actual formulation of the rules this year, I think, is it's pretty. I think it was probably pretty intense for everybody to try to understand and really conceptualize and get into their heads. So what we will do to ease the audience into this as well is, I'll give you sort of basic concepts, but really what we found is both for the participants and for the judges, the best thing is simply to run the tournament, let people actually practice it in the form of a calibration round. So people would actually get to fight in the rule set and figure out what the points are and understand how they're scored. And we allowed every participant to basically, play with those rules until they were done for a single pass. And then after people got used to the idea of how the scoring worked, then they actually were able to go into the future rounds and make the adjustment. So what kind of adjustment are we talking about? The way that these rules are set up is so that you are counting the number of blows. And those can be cuts or thrusts, blows that land on target. And for dagger, we're talking about head and body. So those are the valid target areas. And each opponent, each participant needs to throw a minimum of 3 blows. So basically the action continues for until both people throw 3 blows or until 2 minutes have been reached. So that's the sort of thing that you're going to see. And then as things occur, we will go ahead and sort of explain the action. But one other final thing is that this same concept was applied not only for longsword, but also for dagger, which is what you're about to see. So I think I'm pretty excited about that. The fact that we have a rule set that actually applies to both dagger and longsword. that took us a year. That took us a year to develop and make it work.
And you know, as talking more on the other side, like you developed the rules, so you have a, when you see the rules, you see the rules and all the process behind it.
Yeah.
For the people who were like just when this is this, and learn to fight with this.
Yeah, yep.
So talking with other people, it's very interesting. I really appreciate when there are different rule sets. For many people, it's complicated, I guess, to just have the idea they're gonna fight differently. Why? Every rule set gives you the chance to play with the rules.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you get used to playing with the rules in just one set, you're gonna be able to neglect many abilities.
Yep.
So checking with many people, first of all, there's many people who just have this thing of cutting, stop. You do the technique, and the same rule set make you stop being more passive. Well, these kind of situations, like, you just have to keep going.
Yeah, Dagger is very...
You just can't stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's much closer in. The fight is much faster. And it, honestly, in the past, it's been challenging for the judges to actually see all the blows. But one of the nice things about the count and blow thing, since they're only supposed to throw 3 blows, it limits the scope of the violence, I guess. So
and
it's easier to...
On the other side, what we have been watching is that this rule set favors the ability to defend.
Yes, yep. That's
this
a
is
key
important.
Emphasis,
this is slightly... it does count in other kind of rule sets because, of course, to not get points, you have to defend yourself.
Right, exactly.
But when you give...
But we actively penalize them in cases where they actually get hit.
And in this case, when this, once again, it's an act, a very continuous situation, you know how to defend.
Fran Terminiello using the custom dagger that we have the tournament as a, I'm sorry, what is that, a pogo stick?
Pogo stick.
It's almost the right
Miss Fran
size.
Terminiello is going to make a pogo stick jumping show with Dagger after this, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, so yes.
So clearly they are ready to go.
So
I think it's time to turn it over to the ring.
Let's go.
And here come the judges. Very fancy looking judges. And you will notice that everyone is dressed almost entirely in black.
That's very Hema-like.
And I think people have been talking about different color schemes for different events, and I know Swordfish, that we will mention later on. Swordfish in Sweden seems to favor sort of the tux approach, the black slacks and the white shirts, and it's very fashionable, very formal, and that suits them very well.
Meanwhile,
but I thought, for our event,
we can have people in black, so in case they die in the tournament.
No, Mariana, that is not what we were going to say on camera.
I'm sorry. Then it's just a secret.
Yes, that's right. So, anyway, we will let them do their thing whenever they are ready. But yeah, so the shirts and everything, all black. We're giving that a try. We'll see how that works out. So
we're starting with lightweight.
That's right. So yes, actually, it's worth talking and saying that we actually had enough participants this year. Actually, the largest Dagger tournament this year, really the largest HEMA tournament ever, as I'm aware, since. I think we're the ones who have sort of pioneered the Dagger tournaments in general. So this is the biggest Dagger tournament we've had so far, and we're going to start with the lightweights. It looks like, in terms of our lineup, we have 4 participants, and the way this is going to work, this is not a situation. This is not a situation where. Okay, here we go.
Blue versus red.
So again, 4 participants.
Ready.
And each one is going to fight another in round robin
Fighters ready.
fashion.
Fight. Ready.
All right, so ice pick grip only. So they're circling, looking for distance. Again, okay, very quickly they've already closed into grappling distance, and it's 20 seconds, 20 seconds. All right. Yep. So we got in there very, very quick. There was an opportunity for some grappling, but at that point, the participants have a choice. Do they stay in and they go into the grapple, or they can attempt to pull out far enough that they can then stab again.
2 points, blue.
All right. So in the
Red
scoring,
lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining. Blue lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining.
So for the people who start nonsense, it's not nonsense. So basically, in my random mortal understanding, which I hope it's an easy way to put it, when you were in the kindergarten and you did something right, they give you a little tiny star in your forehead, at least in general. So these are the tiny stars in your forehead for being able to defend. If you can give 3 clean cuts and get none touched, you can get a new star. If you just don't get touched but you don't finish your possible fights,
you don't lose stars.
You don't
gain points, but you don't lose stars.
Yeah.
However, if both people actually don't hit, but actually throw all their blows, that's actually very good. If you think about it, they're actually attacking, putting themselves at risk, and actually parrying successfully. So we actually award a star for both of them in that case.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into situations that are a little bit
1
messy.
point, white.
So
3 points, green.
3 to 1. So
White lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, 3 stars remaining. Green lands 3 blows, loses 1 star, 3 stars remaining. Now fighting, red and green, on deck, white and blue.
okay, so the other scoring conditions are, obviously when you actually get hit. So
Ready. Judges. Fighters. Fight.
we're fighting round robin. Each person fights one other opponent only a single time. So since it's a group of 4, each person's going to fight 3 opponents for a total of 6 bouts for the whole pool. So 20 seconds or the 3 stabs. These pools actually go very, very quickly.
Halt! Judges. 0 points, red. 0 points, green.
Okay.
Did either opponent throw 3 blows? No.
All right. So they were defensive.
Red
But
landed 0 blows, 2 stars remaining. Green landed 0 blows, 3 stars remaining.
Okay.
So there was a difference of stars, which gives the winner, I guess.
So again, they did not get hit, but we were not going to award any additional stars because they did not put themselves in enough danger.
Yes. So
they just keep their stars and points.
Fighters. Fight.
Okay. Here we go. Fran Tamernillo.
She's a very aggressive woman, in a good way. Like, she's very willing to enter.
Well, she's not the... Oh, she almost ringed them out. That's right. Come on. Good. Yes, very good. Very dynamic. Both of these very dynamic fighters. Nice. It's a... yeah, that's it. So, let's check on the score here.
Like she had a foot on the line. Or he, rather. I saw a foot out, but not.
Okay, so they're checking to see if there's a ring-out situation.
All right, judges.
So that ring-out requires 2 feet out, and only 1 foot was out.
2 points, white.
2 points.
3 points, blue.
3 points. So, in terms of scoring, in cases where people are hit two times or more...
White lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 1 star remaining. Blue lands 3 stars, lands 3 blows, loses 2 stars, has 0 stars remaining.
Okay.
Next up, green and blue. Red and white.
So at the end of each one of these pools, if you end the pool with 0 stars, it doesn't matter how many blows you have landed on anybody else, you will lose all of them. And that is how the stars really disincentivize over-aggressive nature. Yeah, that is the idea.
So these 2 guys are like...
So they need to protect their stars. They need to use good defense.
And in here is where I started.
And these guys are super fast.
I want to put Street Fighter music to it.
Yeah, no, that would be... Ooh, yep, see, yep. It's this tough balance, very tough balance between making sure that they are being aggressive within the 20-second round while not being hit.
You know, it's very funny because these 2 guys in the tournaments, they were talking about, like, you know how cool it would be to make like a Street Fighter fight?
Now, let's make sure we don't miss the score here.
Green lands 1 blow, gains 1 star, has 4 stars remaining. Blue lands 0 blows, has 0.
So that's a clean round.
0 stars remaining.
Clean
now
round.
Fighting red and white.
And my story of the Street Fighter thing sounds there, so I just hope they
and
turn.
they're from the same club. They're from
That's
the
true
same
love.
Atlanta Trifectors, under their coach there, Keith Cutter-Riley. So that was a clean round, 1-0, meaning both of them actually gain a star for the clean behavior.
Fight!
Eric Lowe against Fran Terminiello. Circling. Time is counting down. See what they can do. Distance, distance. Fran doing a good job. Oh, stab, 3. Then she's got 3. Can she actually? Yep, she needs to cover those 3. Okay. All right. Nice. Extra stab just for love.
Aw.
Yes.
Just for love.
That's right.
I love you.
Pretty sure
That
that's
doesn't make you bleed.
2 points, red.
All right.
3 points, white.
Oh, that's too bad. So she managed to get the stabs in there, but she was not able to keep herself safe while she did it. So that's considered what we'd call a dirty round.
Red lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 0 stars remaining.
Yep.
White lands 3 blows, loses 2 stars, has 0 stars remaining.
All right. All right, so we have reached the end of the pool. So a number of people have 0 stars, so their total points, which is the landed blows plus the number of remaining stars, if it's 0 stars, it's going to be 0 regardless of the number of landed blows. So we'll see.
Winner of the round is green, M. Lewis, with 4 blows scored, 4 stars remaining,
Nice.
for a total of 8
8
points.
points.
All other competitors have 0 stars remaining for 0 points.
So defense, defense, defense.
Defense. We need cheerleaders.
And for the record, as far as dagger fights go, even in this, I mean, this is, obviously not a real life situation. This is a game. This is a sport. This is a tournament. But even within that context, we're trying to train specific behaviors. And so, again, one of the things I'm really emphasizing here is the idea that if they don't do a good enough job of protecting themselves, we're going to punish them. Against a dagger, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to make sure that you are clean enough, even to just keep things down to a single stab on yourself. So, question is, are we asking for too much? That is one of those things that we have to ask. It's one of the things that I thought about when we were designing the rule set. Should we set the thresholds differently for longsword versus dagger? And, we tested this out between different groups. And what was interesting was that we were finding that there were times when people were successful in being able to shut things down. So, so I think, in terms of the fact that a number of these people zeroed out, does it mean that it's too hard, or does it just mean that they need to go and train their defense better? We don't know. And frankly, I think it's always premature to try to judge that kind of stuff until we've run these tournaments, at least a few times to get a sense of that.
So, question, are we moving on? Because I have a special event.
Yes, we do. Yep,
So,
let's move on.
We're gonna make something very new that is called the Random Attendee. So, we have 2 random guys here. Can you please come?
Random guys.
Please look to the wall. I don't want to see your faces. Just look to the wall. And there's a guy back there who's wearing a chicken hat. So if he can come, please.
Oh, the chicken hat guy.
A what? A kiwi hat.
Kiwi.
And I need another random person. Someone who was in the event, please raise I mean, everyone is in the event, but someone who competed or entered to classes. Someone
who wants to be famous.
We have another. Please look to the wall. And at least one more. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. One more. This is your last time. There you go. We have another one. Please
All right,
come.
come on over.
Run. Looking facing to the wall.
Come on down.
So, come on. We're here. It's not so complicated. So you're number 1. You're number 2, 3, and 4. Jeff, choose a number.
2.
Oh, I'm 5, sorry. 2. Random attendee number 2, please show your face. Nice to meet you. Who you are?
I'm Jess Rosick.
Jess Rosick. So, Jess.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Oh.
Do you have an answer?
No, I don't know. I don't know yet.
That was my question.
Oh, okay. Yay.
Okay, now, first question. So, is it your first time at IDX?
No, this will be my 4th IGX.
Thank you. Look back there.
Alright.
Another question. Wait.
I need to pick somebody.
As a note, 4 times here means it's good. So next person, please.
3.
The
Oh. It's the chicken man. Oh, I'm sorry. Kiwi person.
So Mr. Kiwi, you're you're not from here, right?
No.
Because I don't think Kiwis are from.
So you must be from Australia.
Yeah.
No.
With all the kangaroos, exactly.
Right.
Of course.
But that doesn't really sound like an Australian accent.
Doesn't it?
No, I don't think so. It sounds.
Maybe I mixed it.
It sounds distinctly
Austria?
Austrian, doesn't it? Yeah, actually, very specific to Viennese dialect. Yes,
Nah.
am I right? No, I'm wrong.
Yes, of course.
So Mr. Unknown person from the unknown land of the unknown hat. My question for you is, so far, what is your favorite thing of the event?
Whew, that's hard to tell. Oh, let me think.
Because there's so many things, right? Not because you can't think of any.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good. Just checking.
Of course.
Just checking. Not that I prompted you.
Nah, I really love it here.
Yeah.
I met amazingly many new people.
Yeah. Fun times with Americans. This is your first time in America?
It's my very first time in America.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Random
Yeah, I
number
love it.
2, just please stop. I love you, but
Wow. You are a control freak. Okay, keep going.
no. So thank you.
Yep.
You're back. Now I want I want my number 5. So question for random participant number 5. Have you taken workshops?
No, I haven't had time for a workshop yet.
You have fight then.
Yes.
Where do you fight?
What have I fought in so far? Or,
Yes.
I did open longsword primarily, and also cutting.
Cutting. So what was your best experience in these tournaments?
Best or most successful?
Whatever you want.
I did all right in cutting, better than I expected, certainly, and I've had a lot of fun fighting. So I would say it's been a good experience, pretty much all around.
And now I want my. Thank you very much. I want my number 1 and number. I don't know how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, please. What? So you have an easy task. In one word, describe the event.
Camaraderie. Friendship.
Aw,
Wow, that was
so cute.
That's totally going on a t-shirt for next year.
Okay, so thank you, random participants. Feel free to go back to your lands of attendees, participant stuff. And moving on, we have the Scottish
Backhole.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep.
Exhibition. So
Yes.
we're moving there.
All right. So, okay, I'm going to actually go and be part of the ring.
And I'm alone again. Ah, jeez. So you're gonna hear their amazing voices, and with me I have Fabrice and Harry. Harry Potter.
You see, like Harry.
You like Harry Potter? Harry?
Yeah, quite.
What's the sword, Harry? So right now we're watching a Scottish backhole exhibition. So Harry, do you know anything about this? because, well, first of all, I know you know stuff. And second of all, I know you know stuff.
Oh, really? Do I?
Yes. So, I mean, I don't know if you have heard about the rules they're working at right now.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you can tell me about it?
Well, for wrestling, it's of course one of the most important rules that you have weight classes, because for wrestling, the most important thing, even more important than technique, is being heavier than your opponent and being stronger than your opponent. Only if the weights are at least on an average level for both contenders, technique come into play. With superior technique, you can more or less handle heavier opponents, but only until a certain level. So having a proper weight class is one of the most important things. The rest of it is, to be honest, not that important for wrestling.
It's funny because I've heard that you can do this in Roses and kilts, that it's acceptable to wear for matches, and that sweaters are specifically forbidden, like seriously, and shows are also forbidden, which I find kind of funny. So you can see someone's shirt flying away, but they cannot protect themselves from the cold. So you knew that?
No.
Well, that's some interesting things that we get to know by our fighters. I'm happy they didn't choose the Celts to fight, by the way.
Now, so put the two men hugging each other, they don't really feel the cold, you know?
That's a good point. So, in Scotland, men and women often wrestling against each other into the same competitions, which is very awesome. So, women...
Can be, especially for the men.
And the women's only class are sometimes offered. I mean, they give the chance. And in Cumberland and Westmoreland, women are excluded for competing. This is like the only exception. So these are just a few interesting stuff. And this time, instead of yelling much, while the guys of the Dagger get prepared, guys, like super briefly, you guys are from Europe. And do you know how, like, we were trying to check how HEMA scene is going around. Is there like any specific important thing that should be known about HEMA community in Europe?
Well, there is a strong and growing HEMA community in Europe, actually. For some reason, like, it's quite logical because historical European martial arts are...
From Europe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
How surprising.
Yeah. Incredible. And actually, well, the very first HEMA events in Europe, like, they date back like from like the early part of the 21st century. I feel so old now, and it's still growing. I mean, you know, it's a good thing.
Yeah, and well, I wish we could talk a little bit more, but we're running to the Dagger because the guys are swinging their knives to each other already. I mean, daggers. So we're starting. We're starting.
In the Dagger medium competition, in red, C. Anderson. In white, E. Terminiello. In green, S. McCoy. In blue, S. Perch. First fight, blue versus red. On deck, white versus green. Table ready. Judges. Fighters. Fight.
So meanwhile this happened, I just would really like to thank two of our sponsors, Absolute Force and PBT, while these guys hit each other. That's a beautiful way to talk about sponsors.
Great attempt to do a controlled takedown.
Judges.
See if they give an award for that.
Which color were you? Points. 3 points, blue. 2 points, red. Red lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining. Blue lands 3 blows, loses 2 stars, 4 stars remaining. Now fighting, white versus green on deck, red versus green. Get ready. Ready? Judges. Fighters.
Understand that I can jump all that stuff. I can just say that one of the things that I love about this is that basically you're trying to make the other one a little piece of salad. Imagine this is a big lettuce, and you have to cut it in tiny pieces. That's all you need to know. That would be.
I love how your mind works. It's amazing.
I'm
Why is it always about food?
Time.
Because I'm hungry.
Interesting. All right, so this is an interesting thing that we're discovering. You know, because
0
defense
points,
is so
green.
important.
0 points, white.
Yep.
People is
Neither fighter completed 3 blows. 0 blows landed by white, 4 stars remaining.
Should
0 blows
these-
landed by green, 4 stars
All
remaining.
right, so they chose
Now
to
fighting,
keep
red
their
and
points.
green on
They
deck,
chose to
white
stay out
and
of
blue.
danger.
Green, stay in. Green.
One of the things that I think it's important about this to notice is this part, like this rule set has 2 complicated parts. First of all is you have to defend.
Fighters.
Second of all is you have to defend, but you can just stop, because otherwise you're screwed and you're not gonna move on.
Oh, all right. So they're not. Okay. Yep.
Halt! Halt! Judges. 2 points, green.
2 points green.
2 points, red.
2 points red. So what we would call dirty round. They're both going to lose 2
Red lands
stars.
2 blows. Loses
So we
2
move on
stars, with
from
0
nothing
stars
to 2
remaining.
equals.
Green lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 points, 2 stars remaining. Next up, white and blue.
All right, white
On
and blue.
deck, green and blue. Table. Ready. Judges. Fighters. Fight!
All right, more matchup here. Circling. Let's see if they're going to play defense. Oh, he almost had that. He's got control. He's got control of dagger. Is he going to stay out though?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow,
Oh.
nice. And he never.
Oh, pretty.
I do not believe he was ever ringed out. nice.
That's my favorite, but it's like, you
Very
just
good.
punch me, give me a hug.
Kim Terminiello against Stephen Hirsch.
0 points, blue. 3 points, red.
0 points blue, 3 points red.
White.
Sorry, white. 0 points
White
blue.
lands 3 blows, gains 1 star,
So-
has 5 stars remaining. Blue lands 0 blows, has 2 stars remaining.
Okay, so looks like blue has 2 stars remaining, white has 5 stars remaining.
Green and blue are in, white and red are on deck. Table. Ready. Judges. Ready. Fighters. Fight!
Jockeying for position. Ooh, nice recovery. Although maybe needs a little practice in terms of the attack there. Attack with good structure. See the judges working overtime to make sure that they're not missing blows, because tough thing with the dagger. There's a lot of angles that change very quickly.
Watch your side, please. Judges. 0 points, blue. 1 point, green.
0 points blue, 1 point
Green
green.
throw 3 blows. No.
Okay, so green did not
Green
complete.
lands 1 blow.
Yep.
2 stars remaining. Blue lands 0 blows. 2 stars remaining.
All right, so no one loses any stars.
Next is red and white. Final round.
Final round, red versus white. So a little bit of deliberation with the judges, and this is something that we are encouraging.
Referee overruling the judges, awarding 1 point to blue.
So there was discussion after the fact.
What's the ruling on green? Does he remain with 1 point?
Green remains with 1 point.
Hit ready. Corrected score.
So corrected score
Green
now.
lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 1 star remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 1 star remaining. Final round, red versus white. Hit ready. Ready. Judges. Fighters. Fight!
Okay, final round here. Jockeying for position. They're not circling so much. Okay, looks like, ooh, attempt at a push kick. Up and up. Looks like the blows get thrown before any sort of clinching happens.
Judges. What's that? 2 for red.
2 for
2
red.
2 points red.
2 points red.
2 points white.
2 points white. Dirty. So
How many
both,
fights do we have
both.
left?
That's the final one. It's going to be 2 stars remaining.
Red lands 2 blows. Loses 2 stars, has 0 stars remaining.
0 stars remaining. Red.
White lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 3 stars remaining.
3 stars remaining. So white, 3 stars remaining. Usually a pretty good indicator that that may be a winner. All right, so we're going to wait for the final score across all competitors here.
Winner is white with
White,
5
yep,
blows
exactly.
and 3 stars for a total of 8 points. Second is blue with a total of 4 blows and 1 star for 5 points. Third is green with 3 blows and 1 star for 4 points. And red has 0 stars remaining for 0 points.
Well, that was dramatic.
It was.
Hello. Where did Mariana go?
It's me. It's
Oh,
just
it is you.
yes.
Wow.
The
The
thing is
mask
that
just fooled me.
the thing is that we have 2 things that make me excited and make me
I
want to wear.
feel so boring. I feel so boring, which is probably true. Oh, now.
There you go.
Thank you, Harry.
So
Perfect way to solve the problem.
yeah. So the reason I'm wearing this, do you have that?
What?
That you're
What?
creeping me out. What do you want?
Wait, no. What? What's the problem?
Harry,
Don't
just,
be
just
distracted.
don't ever.
Give me the Eric Wiggin.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect.
Now we're going. Now we got it.
You have to.
There's like a beaver hanging off of his forehead. It's distracting.
So the reason we're dressing like this is because we will have another wrestling rule set
excellent.
for one point.
Excellent. Oh,
and
perfect.
and I just think that this is too American. So I just wanted to put a little bit of Mexican flavor.
Great. Yep.
Now we have the alien who I guess you want to fight with a human, so it's related. And Eric Wiggins punch people, so I guess that's relating to wrestling as well.
True. There you go.
So we're ready to go.
All right. Yep. So we've got Keith Cotter-Riley from again the Atlanta Trifecta Guild, and Tim Hall
for Virginia Academy of Fencing.
Yep, VAF in Maryland, and they're going to be doing an exhibition of a modern rule set as opposed to the Scottish backhold traditional that was done previously, and they're just going to do some demonstration movements. So
And the reason why Harry is here again. Okay,
whenever they're ready, they can take it away.
And the reason we have Harry here, Eric, is because he knows
nice,
stuff.
nice leg pickup. Nice leg pickup there. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Very
Very
good.
nice.
Double hand, single leg pickup.
So what I really like about is like all the fights for the the grabs. Do you see
nice,
the hucking like
nice
it's
leg
that
hook.
Fabian von Eyerswald right there?
Yep, probably.
Yeah, it's
that's
already
right.
from the Fabian von Eyerswald.
Yep,
It's
that's
den
right.
Haken schlagen, which
Yep.
means give him the hook.
Yep, the hook. Oh, nice,
Isn't it?
nice. Very good, very good.
Very nice sidebox line then.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about this is just knowing how to fall, because otherwise that would be
absolutely.
very horrible.
Just the basics. Everyone.
Otherwise you end up like me.
Yeah,
With
well.
broken.
Well, it is one of those things. I think more and more people are trying to do wrestling as part of their curriculum and part of their skill set, and
It's
it
necessary.
takes time.
It
takes
to
time
me it
to.
makes sense. If you lose your weapon, what you're gonna do?
Yeah, no, it's certainly relevant. Definitely, absolutely.
That's not even the point, because the manuals show you what to do when you're fighting unarmed against the sword. But wrestling gives you the solid base for every of your movement.
Oh,
your whole
nice.
body
Very
structure.
good, very good.
My
yeah.
favorite thing is that after the
Yeah,
fall.
yeah.
And that was
Very good,
it.
very good.
That was
Nice, nice job, guys. Nice job.
So we are about to run to, or I'm sorry, I'm just
Hard to read in there?
yeah. We're moving to the final of heavyweights from Dagger.
Okay.
So I hope our guys are ready. And while they're fighting, so we don't take many time, we have Ben with us, who knows stuff too.
Absolutely.
So we just had, okay, so yeah, please, composer.
Come on in.
So judges can say, oh, what? Yeah, that's cute. So judges and the table is set up. We're just watching wrestling and Dagger. So is there any, I mean, for me it's very obvious, but is there any relation between one and another?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think most Dagger fights, you've got really two things that you have to deal with. I mean, one is stopping that dagger that comes at you. And then the second thing is, what do you do once you've got control of that weapon? And so grappling is a key component of that. It's being able to finish that move and to be able to secure the guy in a way that protects you.
I agree with him.
Because that weapon's always a threat. It's still a threat until you finally take that threat and take it down to, take it out as far as you can. So.
Yeah. So I don't know if the guys are ready, but so for example, one of the things that I've seen is that in basically, if you don't have all the control that you learn in wrestling, you cannot just work with the dagger. So, like Dagger, could you say? I'm getting crazy here. Could you say like Dagger is also wrestling at the same time?
Yeah, of course. Dagger is wrestling with a pointy fist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing else because you need to divide between a dagger fight and a knife fight. A dagger in the manuals is not sharp, or at least not very sharp. So one of the basic things is when you can hold the dagger hand and also and control the dagger, you never let him go. And after that, when you have caught his dagger, then comes the wrestling into the play. It can be straight wrestling like throws or locks and something, or of course you can just punch him in the face and kick him in the groin. So it's totally fine. So in fact, Dagger is wrestling. It's nothing else.
Yeah, so we're starting and moving, and I'm moving. I am moving. Oh no, my guys are moving.
You're in.
I'm in, yeah.
White, C. Stahl. In green, K. Potter Riley. In blue, C.
Stay here or go away.
First up, red versus blue. On deck, white versus green.
Harry, you are more than welcome to give us smart comments about whatever you see in these fights.
Smart? Wrong guy.
I think that would end up being smart ass, but I could be wrong. Entertain us, Harry. Entertain us.
Well, you see, at the moment you see the most important thing in Dagger, not getting hit.
Yeah.
So avoid getting hit is a very crucial thing.
How do you keep that? Okay, good. All right,
well,
good.
That was not so smart.
Yeah. But that's the hard thing. So they go in, tried to do it clean. We'll see if they were able to.
Yeah, but it's 2 points.
2 points, so clearly not.
1 point red.
And 1 point red.
Yeah,
so
1 point is enough because both are
that's
dead
right.
now.
That's right.
So
well,
red lands 1 blow.
It's a dagger
loses
in the
1
face.
star, has 3
What do you
stars
expect?
remaining. Blue lands 2 blows, loses 1 star, has 3 stars remaining. Now fighting white and green on deck, red and green.
Table. Judges. Fighters.
Okay.
Fight.
Good. They've got their protocols going.
Sticking with
And
the pointy end.
he attempts to go for a takedown. A little bit physical trash talk in there. All right, good. All right.
There you go.
And
That's
pushes him out. Now does that
and that's
count
how you
before
get
the
a
time?
free
Was the ring out before the hull?
face repairment. Don't you?
That was something I didn't understand, Mariana, but that's okay. And let's see.
What do you call when you go to a doctor so they fix your face?
Plastic surgery, I suppose.
Plastic surgery. It was free plastic
2
surgery.
points white.
Yeah, but in
3 points green. 2 points white, 3 points green.
A Pappenschlosser, which means a dental
White
surgeon.
lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining. Green
2 stars
lands
remaining.
3 blows, Loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining.
2 stars remaining for
now
both.
Fighting. Red and green on deck. White
Yeah,
and
but
blue.
it's very hard, especially in Dagger,
Oh,
not losing the 4
Yeah,
stars.
that's right. So a lot of this is minimizing the damage, minimizing as best as you can.
Which thankfully, those Dagger has a very, I don't want to make a sound effect because it's going to sound wrong.
All right, here we go.
But
Can they adjust
they're
and
very good
minimize
for
that
fighting.
damage?
Once it went.
All right. Oh,
What?
yep.
What?
So
Oh!
there's, yep, good.
Oh!
Oh, almost,
Nice-
almost
nice-
opportunity for something. Yep.
Nice control
Nice
of
try.
the Dagger.
Nice try.
Nice,
Yep.
nice control of the Dagger. At least Ben tried to keep control
Good.
over,
That's right,
over,
that's
over,
right.
over the
Yeah.
Dagger
3
head
points,
screen.
green.
And again,
Almost
yeah,
almost succeeded on
again,
that.
one of the things that's interesting is the size of this ring really does affect things.
Yeah.
So when you have that much room you can run around, that may be something we consider changing in the future for these Dagger
Yeah,
belts.
so having weight classes also in the Dagger was a very good thing.
So
because
3 points red, 2 points green.
Expect
3 points red, 2 points
imagine,
green.
Imagine the worst thing, Mariana would have to fight against me.
That would be interesting.
Stars has 1
Maybe not so
star
interesting,
remaining.
things that are funny.
Green lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars.
1 star
has
remaining
0
for
stars
red.
remaining.
All right, so someone has lost all their
Next up,
stars.
white and blue on deck, green and blue.
White and blue.
So once again, if I'm fighting you, what? I get like a. Like
Yeah, I could use you as a dagger.
I was thinking toothpick, actually. All right, here we go.
So
Here we go.
gentle.
Here we go.
Oh, these are different
Okay.
approach.
Oh,
No,
all
it's
right.
not. It's not.
So did they cover?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Halt!
All right.
At the moment, both of them, or at least all fighters at the moment, try to achieve the first dagger play of Lignitzer. So they try to grab the hand, the opponent's hand with a as a floppy wrist to keep it close to you and then attack to the face.
So
But
similar to Fury's first Dagger Master.
maybe the same, yeah. It's also
Okay.
it's Fury's first blade.
Blue lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 2 stars
All right.
remaining.
So we
Now
have a
fighting, green,
White and blue.
we have a
loses 10,
condition
red,
where
white.
one of the opponents only received 1 blow, so it is not as severe in terms of the penalty.
Judges.
Yeah, the problem for
Fighters.
dagger at
Fight.
this stage
Yeah.
are the gloves.
Yeah. Yep. The
The
gloves.
gloves are an issue. You
True.
get rid of the gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, and we for the tournament we have advised people they can go lighter on the hand protection. But oh, looks like there's a stab to the head that that's going to leave a mark a little bit. But Keith Cotterelli's a pretty tough guy.
1 point green.
So was that 1-1? Did I hear that correct?
Yes.
Okay, 1 point.
Green lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 0 stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 1 star remaining.
1 star
Now
remaining.
fighting, red and white.
All right. So it looks like blue's still in it.
Hey. Ready. Judges. Fighters.
Commentators, ready.
We're always ready. All right. Oh,
So
he's-
there you go. There-
Nice try, but no.
Oh, that was yes,
Stabby,
yes,
stabby,
get him,
stabby,
get him,
stabby,
get him.
stabby.
I'm sorry.
That would be called a high risk, high reward attempt, and I'm pretty sure it failed. But it
Just
was.
get a little bit excited.
It was a little bit more obvious.
Yes, a little. Yeah,
Judges.
exactly.
100 points to.
Okay, and there's going to be a bit of a conference, which again we encourage because
No,
we want them to get this
they
right.
cannot give him the point. He died before he landed the ground. So.
They want to make sure they get this right.
I just know that will leave you without the face at all. I'm sorry, I just get too
I
excited
think,
when I
yeah,
saw.
and something we should talk about when we have a moment.
0 points white. 3 points red.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good judge.
Red throw 3 blows.
Yes.
All right. So that is a definition of a clean exchange, clean round.
Yeah.
And that's going
Thanks
to
to
be.
white, it is a clean
Red
round.
lands
Yeah, well,
3
it's gonna be-
blows, gains 1
Well-
star, has 2 stars remaining. White scores 0 blows, has 1 star remaining.
That's. I mean, I think it's an interesting situation to think about. If a big person all of a sudden rushes you like that, that is at the very least what you want to be able to do, to be able to get out of the way, let them take themselves down, and control the situation.
It was useless for White to rush.
Hey, I didn't say it was a smart thing to do. I'm just saying if someone
The winner
happens
is
to do
red,
it.
with 7
Yeah, of
blows, 2 stars remaining for a total of 9 points.
Nice. Very good. Very good.
4 blows, 1 star remaining. Green has 0 stars remaining and 0 points.
Huh. A tie for second and third. Interesting. Very good. Very good. All right. And I believe that was the heavyweights, right? Yeah. In which case we are done with Dagger for this event.
Yes, and
I'm sure you think so.
I know. And well, while we get to move on to our next exhibition, which is Side Sword versus Saver, where Fran Terminella and Julie Constantine are going to help, I would like to mention another sponsor, which has a lot to be related with wrestling we just saw, which is Fuel and Designs. This is by Jess Finley, who made a great wrestling jackets. Yep. To give you an idea, every time a jacket tears apart, like she arranges it and change her design next time so that doesn't happen again. So they're very
she's
good
always
to what
improving
we do.
things. Yep, absolutely. And that's something the people who do custom work in HEMA right now are capable of doing, and it's a great thing to see these products continue to go through this kind of development. So thank you again, Jess Finley, and I think our exhibition fencers are about to get started. I think we're done. And just to remind people.
Thank you, Harry, for being with us.
Yep.
By the way.
You're fine. Yep.
And give me my hat back.
Yep.
Can't lose the hat. All right, so we're about to see Longsword against Rapier. Longsword or Rapier, and they're going to take it away.
Let's see this.
All right, so what kind of styles are we going to see? So I know Julie studies with Athena School of Arms and uses German longsword as a system to learn. We then have Fran Terminella from the School of the Sword from London, and she's using a variety of rapier techniques here. She works with her husband Pim Terminello to study a lot of the Italian masters, Bolognese school, other Italian schools. And very good point online.
Now that I see that he...
So a lot of people think that the longsword, it's longer, it's heavier, it's something that might just knock the sword away with rapier. And Fran is demonstrating that the rapier is nothing to laugh at, even against longsword. Although once you get past the point, then all of a sudden the longsword may have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah. So one thing that I want to mention is, now that I saw that horrible thrust to the chest that probably will hurt. I also want to thank another of the sponsors, who is EFG, Elite Fencing Gear.
Oh, very good.
Guys from Mexico, and actually they're donating 3 chest protectors that I'm pretty sure this girl would appreciate having. And I mean, not chest, like a plate thingies. And so I just.
Oh, very good. Actually, some winding action right there. Again, trying to get very good. All right, feeling people out. Oh,
ow.
Not getting out of there in time.
We'll never give that back. I have to say that Fran turned into a very intimidating person once she has a rapier in the hand. She entirely transformed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice, very good. But I think Fran was able to ward off that blow with her bell guard there. Keeping the point online, just small actions of the wrist there. Oh, now the longsword in that case was, I think, able to mostly get past the point.
A little bit of security,
person helping
please.
out the longsword person. All right. See the back weight and forward weight of the rapier as a tactic. And so you see the sort of difference in these styles. Longsword is trying to find a way around that center line, get a way around the point.
Something that I was getting explained about rapier with Fran before is like how she distributes the weight. That way, having one long weapon in the hand is not so tiring. So it's very interesting how both weapons balance different, like how the body has to change the way of balancing in order to make it functional. Which for me is like a very cool thing to watch. That, and I love the ka-ching.
Yeah, the ka-ching always is one of those cool things about Hema, playing with swords. Alright, Fran going to a really extended point online. Oh. And that's a case where once, again, she gets past the point, she's able to almost hyperpronate that wrist and almost disarm the rapier, which is a historical technique. Very good, very good.
That was very nice. And now, well, we get ready for the final woman's longsword, which is part of a set that it's the mixed weapons woman tournament. I would like to thank again to our sponsor EFG, and I would like to welcome a very special guest today. So there was a long time ago where Mexico was like the big news in the scene. It was first Europe, then we saw the United States, and now, but then it was Mexico, and now we have another side of the world, which is Taiwan.
Yeah, actually, I think it's really fascinating and sort of like a full circle karma kind of thing for me, because my heritage is from Taiwan as well, and it's really great to have someone from Taiwan all of a sudden visiting last minute for this event. So would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what your club does?
Yeah, okay. My name is Axel. I get a dot here that you think I'm a political exile, but I'm not. It's just the same pronunciation.
You realize a political exile would say exactly the same thing, right? But anyway, keep going, keep going, keep going.
All right. I'm a graduate school student.
Okay, grad student. Yep.
Of National Taiwan University.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, and I major in the mechanical engineering.
Very good.
Yeah, and
fellow engineer, excellent.
Yeah, and that's why I'm also the creator of this EPW weapons.
So EPW, yep.
Yeah.
So these are made of what?
There's steel, plastic, and some foam in it, and I actually use the very high-grade foam that they use in the car for shock absorption.
Mm-hmm.
And the leather cover is not is for binding feeling.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Right, yep. Yeah, and that is one of the tricky things with weapon simulators, trying to get something that does not bounce too much when you've got foam and allows it to both slide and wind, right?
Yes.
Yep. So you produce these things. You also have a club in Taipei, is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. And how many people do you have?
I would say around 60 people.
Wow, so 60 people in Taiwan, which is fantastic. I mean,
I'm jealous right now.
Yep.
You have no idea.
The Mexicans are like, wait, how do we do that? And my answer to that is, it's just hard work and patience. And you guys, the Mexicans are doing fantastic work. Clearly, the Taiwanese are as well. And I think, again, to emphasize the nature of this event and of the community, the idea is we're trying to spread the idea, the ideals of Hema as far and as wide as we can. Hopefully an event like this will allow people to network and see if there are any other connections that can be made to grow all of our communities. So
we have to move a little bit quick because there's a lot of exciting stuff waiting. So I would like to get a very short answer to a very simple question. We'll try to make it simple. So for Omar, who was just mentioned before, we're still struggling with getting people after more years-ish of starting. So in a very short, try to make it as short as you can. What do you see is the future of Hema in Mexico? That's a question for you.
Well, I would love to have more people, first of all. Right?
Sure.
And we would love to have also an event just like the IGX or Long Point and Swordfish.
Yep.
So to attract more and more people.
Right.
So
Well, we're just
So
working
you guys
on
are,
that.
yep, you guys are building your community,
Yes.
right?
Getting
Yep.
it more in the map every time.
That's right. Yep.
And so, in your case, do you think that HEMA's gonna get more popular in your country, considering he's like barely starting in there?
Yeah, I think so, because I'm doing this Grand HEMA tour from West Coast to East Coast.
Wow.
Yep.
Now you have to go to Mexico.
That's
you know
right.
that?
Yeah. Yep.
Of course. I'm trying to bring those experience back to Taiwan, to form a HEMA club that's a more traditional way. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And,
Thank you. Yep.
And now we're moving to the women's longsword.
All right. All right. Now we're gonna go to the women's.
Yes.
And for the women's tournament, we actually did mixed weapons, more than one weapon form. So we're gonna start with longsword. And in a few moments, we'll mention another one of our sponsors, PBT.
And after that, actually, just before, don't let me remember that after these fights, we're gonna watch an awesome video from Slovakia promo, which is gonna be very fun. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of long hair around here.
Wow.
And,
all right, so yep, we will be interviewing a number of very lovely ladies in just a few minutes.
2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining. Now fighting, white and green, on deck, red and green.
Girls, if you feel like there's any moment where you have like, I have a smart comment to make about this, please feel free to do it.
Feel free to commentate. I'm sure people are getting bored of me.
So just for the ones who hear the laughter, one laughter was from Samantha Swords.
Samantha Swords, yes.
Then we have Mary Misservy. Sorry, I'm always struggling with that one.
It rhymes.
It rhymes, that's true. And then we have Kiana, who's also being very known lately. So we have these amazing girls with us.
Nice parry.
And we have an amazing parry too. So finally we have Susanna and Jess Rosek.
Yep, Jess Rosek. Yep. Susanna Piotrkowskaja, I believe, is at least how it's spelled.
1 point, green.
So about this, I do have to comment. I've seen Jess Rosek fighting this time, and she has a very, very good defense in general. And this kind of rule set has certainly favored her.
Loses 1 star, has 3 stars remaining. Green lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 3 stars remaining. Now fighting, red and green.
And well, whoever saw those pairings, you can tell. And she follows Mayor
white and blue
school.
Judges.
So you can see her like in the way she fights. I really like that. It's very marked on her.
Joachim Meyer. Treatise published in 1560, I believe. So late in the period in which.
She also follows the tradition of the poopy pants.
Nice parry, cuts the hands. So now she's keeping distance because she's got the advantage. She's made the hit.
We have her fighting with Becca Boyd.
That's right.
Judges.
Becca Boyd from St. Louis in Missouri.
Second intent fencing.
Yep. SIF. And
Judges are talking about the meal.
What?
I'm just saying. I'm hungry.
The meal. It's always about the food. Mariana, don't worry, we'll feed you.
Judges. 1 point, green.
1 point green.
0 points, red.
0 points red, so that's a clean round. Clean round.
That's you. No.
She did not throw all her blows, though, so therefore she will not gain an extra
Red
star
lands 0
or point.
blows, has 2 stars remaining. Green lands 1 blow, has 3 stars remaining.
All right.
Now fighting, white and blue. On deck, green and blue.
All right.
It's interesting to see how the women fight in comparison to the men.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, I've noticed from event to event that often the women's tournaments just look better in my eye. They're just technically
Is that because they're
more
pretty
interesting.
when you say that?
Sure, of course, that's part of it. That's part
I
of
knew it.
But honestly, oftentimes they're less powerful than the men. Or perhaps to say, the men depend on power as part of their tool set a lot. And when other people don't have that, they have to depend on other things. Like,
Samantha and I were talking earlier about the intensity to skill ratio.
White lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 2 points, 2 stars
Like
remaining.
I said, a lot of people do
Blue
rely
lands 1
on
blow,
intensity,
loses 1 star, has 1 star remaining. Now
don't
fighting, green and
match
blue,
that with
on
skill
deck, red and
And I was
white.
hearing some of the older fighters, the male fighters, saying it's quite intimidating.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
going
yeah.
into, like, as they refer to, a young man's game.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've had a number. That's the nice thing about HEMA. You have a very wide demographic, both in terms of certainly the two genders, the fact that we can do open tournaments like this where you have both genders competing together, which I think is fantastic. And then also the fact that there's a very wide age range as well.
Oh, the sparks are flying.
That was a good one.
Very
When
nice.
I say help, please help.
But
The best part is I
after the
apologize
halt,
after.
the halt, unfortunately.
It's quite hard to hear sometimes when you're in the
That's
heat of it.
Yeah.
Like for me, it takes me a
Absolutely.
few seconds
Yep.
to acknowledge it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why the judges have, or the refs have their sticks and everything. So if they need to beat it into you, they will. So they're conferring, trying to make sure
0
that
points, green.
0
Blue
points.
throw 3 blows.
All right, so that is being considered a clean round.
Green lands 0 blows, has 3 stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, gains 1 star, has 2 stars remaining. Now fighting, red and white.
All right, Tanya. Table. Ready. Judges. Fighters.
Ready.
Fight.
All right, Susanna against Becca, red versus blue.
Sword versus sword. Lady versus lady.
Susanna is very, very
Oh,
aggressive.
Ooh.
Yep, that's
And
right.
Becca
She
answered
likes-
to that.
So Susanna is a student of Krav Maga, and you can see that style coming out a little bit when she engages her opponents.
Sorry.
And I have to say, these are very intimidating opponents.
Yes. Yep. So, again, not to say that intensity is limited to men. There are certainly some female fighters who can use that skill set.
1 point.
Especially
Red.
against other females. Like
1 point.
Right. Right.
Red lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 1 star remaining.
Red has 1
White
star
lands
remaining.
1 blow, loses 1 star, has 1 star
And
remaining.
has
All right.
Susanna has also 1 star remaining, so they both hit once and lose 1 star.
Winner is blue with 4 blows, 2 stars remaining. Second place is green. 2 blows landed, 3 stars remaining, 5 points. Red and white each have 3 blows landed, 1 star remaining for 4 points.
So tie for third place. Tie for third place.
They do seem generally quite clean, the female encounters.
Yes.
So-
Yep. So it's really interesting to see it.
So now, sorry to interrupt you guys, but I really want to move to a video. It's a promo from Slovakia. I don't know if you have seen it. It's just one of my favorite promos of all time. Like, it's just
And why is that?
because it's gorgeous.
Well,
Have you seen it?
I'm not entirely sure, and in fact, I'm being told that this particular promo Slovakia is All right.
So,
hopefully
that was beautiful?
Yeah? Yeah? What did you think?
No, I'm asking you. I already know it. You just have to say yes.
It
You
was
have to
gorgeous.
say
It was
yes. Oh my
gorgeous.
God, that was perfect.
Seriously, Eastern Europeans, they have their own distinctive style, like people all around
Yeah,
the world.
but your excitement don't excite me, so that doesn't work. So
just-
I'm just gonna
all
move
right.
to. Okay, let me try this one. What do you think about HEMA Shop that will give us medals and Eastern Sabers? Did that
They're
excite you?
Fine, they're freaking awesome. How's
Thank
that?
you.
Is that good?
Thank you.
Is
That's
good?
that. Yes.
Seriously,
yes.
like the medals, they're the best medals I have ever seen. They're fantastic. They're clearly custom for HEMA. They have little swords as part of not just the engraving, but actually sticking out.
Are they my
So
size?
they're no, actually you can use them as a hat.
Okay, I'll take that.
But yeah, I mean they're practically weapons themselves, and then you've got the Eastern sabers named after Matt Easton, I believe, and we're looking forward to getting them when they finally arrive.
And now, now that we're fighting women, I'm gonna know you more than with the word, not the world. And we're gonna make a very quick talk during this rest 2 sets with these 3 guests that I have about a little bit about women in HEMA. I want to go with a very short answer so we can move on because these girls are jumping with their swords in their hand because they want to fight. So one question, and try to give me the shortest, most accurate answer you can get me. We were talking ahead, like in the fields about women in HEMA, and there's a lot of things to say about this. Most of it is like some of it is like I don't really care who is in my club. I just want to train. But we have also find out there's people who care. So some of you entered when you were only one girl. Some of you have entered when there were some others and find like a little bit excitement. So for example, Mary, I always remember that you were mentioning that it's cool to see women doing HEMA, not because just they're women, but because it's cool to see that people is doing it. Because it's not normal for girls to do it.
So, I mean, I want to say that there's nothing special about women being in HEMA in that, it's the same for us as it is for men, right? We just go through the process, and for a long time I was the only girl in my club, and that's fine. I just do what the boys do. There's nothing different about it, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm just doing it like everybody else. But it's nice to see kind of the perceived barriers kind of break down. Like, I think a lot of girls end up getting dragged into it with their boyfriend or husband, right? And
That
then they
never happens.
But then they don't like it or whatever.
Right.
But I think for them especially, it's nice to see, oh yeah, there's someone here who does it and doesn't think anything of it.
Right.
Yeah, I just made a joke myself and I didn't realize it. Like, oh, you just like them because they're female and they're pretty. So that's another thing that we see. Like, how can you practice that martial art? You get bruises. You have to be pretty.
I do get
right?
bruises. I get paper cuts too from rapier.
And
it's okay.
I think that's a good point. Men get bruises, women get bruises. It's okay for everyone.
Yeah.
So, Kiana, do you have any comment about that as well?
Have you ever gotten bruised? I can't believe
No
it.
way.
You really?
I think that it's what we were saying before. It's pretty much the same for men or women. It's part of what we do, and I think that if you're gonna, participate in this, then you kind of accept that and learn from it.
Right. Right.
It's an important part of what we do.
So,
Men's rapier finals.
All right,
we're
here we
moving
go.
to rapier finals.
C, white, Sandy C. In green, Jessica R. In blue, Fran T. Now fighting, red and blue on deck, white and green.
Table ready. Ready. Judges ready. Fighters ready. Fight.
That's right. Fran Terminiello, well known for her expertise with rapier dagger.
So we have our 3 lovely ladies with us commenting for this process. So, because you fight in this, or you practice it. So, Mary, you actually practice rapier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
1
might be
point
familiar
blue.
with some of these moves.
1 point red.
So again, because we're using the same rule set,
Red lands 1
they're
blow,
limited to
loses 1 star,
20
has 3
seconds.
stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, loses 1 star.
And I think one of
has
the
3 stars
challenges
remaining. Now fighting,
for
white and
rapier
green.
fighters is that
Deck,
they like to take their time because it's a very fine art, and really trying to take control of all the lines of attack, that can, you want to take your time and not get stabbed in the face. So it's a little trickier with rapier to try to do things quickly. Ooh, rapier and cape. Excellent. Excellent.
I would like to mention.
Was an option.
I was hearing Jess say earlier that this was one of her favorite. Combinations.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she's the only one using. Jess is the only one using cloak, right?
That's right. I don't know if she's the only one, but.
I mean, in this tournament.
I don't know. I mean, it was an option for everyone. So if they could bring it, okay.
It's interesting that women seem to gravitate towards rapier because it's such an athletic weapon.
Well,
you have to be so extended.
It's artful, sure. Well, I mean, I think all of them can be artful, but I think the other thing is it's very efficient, right? To use it, the actual mechanical actions can be very small, so you don't. Yeah, exactly. So I think that lends itself very nicely to.
You could argue though that in good martial arts, everything you do should be.
Should be.
So. Well,
But it doesn't
have to be brutal.
It's a lot more about core work.
It's just different. For me, it's not brutal. It's just different.
Yep.
Fight. Because have you seen Fran with a rapier? That's scary. I said it once. I said it twice. I will say it many times. And so now Mary and Kiana are leaving, and we're keeping Samantha's sword for ourselves. Yeah.
It's because I'm not from here.
So and remind us, where are you from?
I'm from New Zealand.
New Zealand, by way of
known for
where
hobbits and beautiful mountains.
Right.
0 points.
Hobbits is my favorite part.
Exactly.
0 points, green.
Like us, Jeff.
I know you're practically sitting with two right now.
Red.
Maybe we are exported and we didn't knew, so we're not Mexican.
Red lands 0 blows, gains 1 star, has 4 stars remaining. Green lands 0 blows, gains 1 star, has 5 stars remaining.
So they've actually gained stars because they have actually attempted to hit each other and have been defended while they've done it from both sides.
So I need to mention this. We're having 3 female tournaments, but they're actually part of the very same tournament.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
to
So
say
they're sort
the
of different
winners
stages. Yep.
are not each winner of each tournament. It's gonna be made a table that proves out the best around all.
I will leave that to our Master of Scheduling and Logistics, Charles Diley, who's the head of Boston Armasare, formerly SSG, scores St. George. So nice leg cut.
1 point. White. Where are my blue judges? Oh wait.
Whoops, let's switch and not confuse people.
Move on.
1 point.
These two are very evenly matched in terms of height and
Yep.
body.
White lands 2 blows, loses 1 star, has 3 stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, loses 1 star, has 2 stars remaining. Now fighting, green and blue, on deck, red and white.
So hopefully we have a few moments in between action here. When you get a moment, if you can say a little bit about, I know you're from New Zealand. I think you've been affiliated with WITA before. You've worked with them.
That's right. I was working with them for a period of 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
In the film industry, so WITA Workshop is.
Ooh, nice engagement. Tried to close the line with the dagger. Did she make the contact?
I
It's
think
not
she
clear.
did.
Yep, I couldn't see from this angle. All right. And that is one of the advantages of having the 2 weapons.
Nice.
You can use one to close out another weapon, and then attack freely with your own.
It's quite hard to judge the distance with that
That's
cloak
right.
in the way.
Well,
The
distance
cloak
is
is a weapon
tricky enough
again.
with the rapier.
2 points.
The cloak is a weapon against the fighter and the
0 points,
judges.
green.
Blue throw 3 blows.
Yes.
So Blue did
Green
complete the
lands
3.
0 blows, has 5 stars remaining.
Okay, nothing.
Blue lands 2 blows,
Oh.
gains 1 star, has 3 stars
So
remaining.
2-0 clean, and she completed all blows. That's going to be another star for her. So 3 points from Blue. So Blue is in a very good position.
Judges. Fighters. Fight.
A very direct approach by Julie.
Ooh, that's going right to the point. Right away. It's a very nice exchange.
Someone has to complete. All right, done.
nice.
Done.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have to say, I have no idea what I just saw, but whatever it was, I liked it.
2 points.
Does that make any sense?
Maybe. Let's see. 2
0
points.
points. Fight.
So it was a clean round. Clean round. And that's probably why you liked what you saw.
Red lands 2 blows, gains 1 star, has 5 stars remaining.
So
White lands 0 blows, has 3 stars remaining.
So red won that engagement. Is that correct? So whoever won that did it in a clean fashion.
Winner is red.
5 stars, 8 points.
Yep. So not only did she hit twice, she threw at least 3 blows in that
4 blows,
exchange.
3 stars, 7 points. Green,
Second
1
is blue,
blow,
third is
5 stars,
green.
6 points. White has 2 blows, 3 stars, 5 points.
All right. Nice.
That was pretty.
Very nice display of artful skill. All right. So before we get too far, I think we should talk about PBT in just a moment. So Samantha, you were saying weta work. What sort of work, like design work that you were doing for them?
So I was making armor and weapons for films, and some of the films I worked on included The Hobbit and Elysium. We helped build the Hulk suit that Matt Damon wears. So it's a
cool
special effects workshop that does 3D design and manufacturing for fantasy and sci-fi.
So that kind of work, is that something you're continuing to do now? Or?
I'm working in the film industry, so whenever work comes up, I try and...
We're here to popular person, people!
It's pretty awesome. I was very lucky because when I was in school, The Lord of the Rings came out, and suddenly it became really accessible for everyone.
I can imagine the good luck, good fortune from that. And is the industry still pretty strong in New Zealand since they're still doing all the work for The Hobbit?
The industry goes in waves all the time.
Okay.
So anytime you're working in a creative or entertainment environment, it does this.
Right. So you look for your opportunities as they come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And one of the things that's really special about Weta is it attracts a community, and those people come back again and again.
Very good. So communities that interface with each other all the time.
So going to the point, you're from far away lands, which is very, 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 very interesting, because that means that in far away lands, these far old martial arts are in far places. So my question is, of course, in New Zealand, I mean, I guess it's a little bit complicated to travel a lot out there,
17 hours to the west coast of America.
That gives an answer.
Well,
so my question for you, I know. So my question for you is, for that, I really imagine that HEMA community there is like very close, if not very. I don't know if it's small or not. So tell me in like very brief words, more or less, how is in there?
So New Zealand and Australia, because I assume that they.
We're not that close to Australia. No? It's about 4 hours to fly to Aussie. So
that's not so bad though.
So I have trained with some of the Australian schools. They're doing their own thing. We do our own thing. And there's some chances to cross and meet people and train, but majority of the HEMA movement in New Zealand is self-generated by people who have a lot of interest in the manuscripts, much like the rest of the world.
Okay, good.
So HEMA is like an evolving sickness. It just pops out of...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's really good to hear that, there are isolated things, sort of coming up on their own. It's not like, it started in one place and has spread. Just independently, these things are of interest, across the world. So it's great to see that. Do you have thoughts about ways that hopefully we can kind of further network and spread the love?
I think that anyone traveling to other schools and training with people who don't do what they do is really healthy.
Right.
And I've learned a ton since I left, because I've been able to go all over the place.
Right.
And,
sure.
Everyone's doing small pieces of a really big picture.
Well, there's always the option. If you can go there, you can pick them to your place, huh? So I'm expecting you to invite me to New Zealand in a few months. Yeah, I would love to
visit. Subtle, very subtle.
So
we have some fantastic people teaching down there, and I would just love to bring them up here and help share the knowledge.
And sort of, who are the folks from that community that?
Do you realize she treated the situation? I was talking about going there, now she's talking about bringing. Okay, I quit.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
That's good.
So thank you a lot, Samantha. This was like very enlightening. Now I think we have to move on to women's side.
Okay, we're going to do that. We'll talk a little bit about PBT though.
first.
Yep.
Yes.
So So another one of our VIP sponsors, they've been with us past few years, and this year they are again sharing as prizes some of the best head and throat protectors that are on the market today. In addition to PBT, we also want to mention Darkwood Armory, a vendor in the U.S., a proud American vendor, that is actually giving as a prize a flexible steel sparring dagger.
They are still donating several copies of Dr. Forgang's Art of... Oh, sorry. I made a mistake.
So also, let's speak about Hickory Arms, who is really another local vendor to here up in Maine, and travels all over the East Coast, doing a lot of work creating wooden wasters. So that's another type of training medium that has been used by the HEMA community for quite some time.
And I just like to apologize. The donating thing it's from a different sponsor that we will mention ahead. I'm so sorry.
Now fighting red and blue on deck, white and green.
Thank you. But you can say for this.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Table. Judges.
Thank you so much.
Fighters. Fight.
Side sword and buckler. Side sword and buckler.
Oh,
stab to the
You
face.
could see a visible throwback
Yeah,
on the head.
that's
on that
right.
one.
Yep. And it's interesting because thrust to the head can actually be difficult
2
to
points,
see quite a lot of the time.
But it's a very effective way to get new piercings.
2 points.
Yeah, true. 2 points blue.
Red lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, has 2 stars remaining. Blue lands 2 blows, loses 2 stars, 2 stars remaining.
So good
White
aggression.
and green are fighting, red and green are on deck.
Good aggression from both, but unfortunately a little too much.
And thank you,
not enough
Samantha, for
defense.
visiting
Yep.
us.
Thank you.
See you later, Samantha. All right. So,
Judges.
white and green. White and green. We have
Fight.
Kiana Shurkin from, I think, Maryland KDF. Certainly one of the KDFs down in that area. All right. Ooh, did she get through?
It's really...
My view is blocked a little bit, and again, blows landing. Nice try. Nice try. Did you get it in time?
It's very nice to see Kiana in here. She's very like
0
she's
points,
getting to be very known.
1 point
She has
white.
done
1
very
point
nice
white.
fights.
White through 3 blows.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. So
And
clean
the judge
round.
agreed with you.
Yep,
He just
clean
said
round.
yes.
Yep, clean round.
White lands 1 blow, gains 1 star, has 5 stars remaining. Green lands 0 blows, has 4 stars remaining.
So Kiana
Now
got a
fighting
star.
green and red on deck, white and blue.
At this moment, getting star is critical to see how their
That's right.
results are going.
Again, the star thing is new.
Judges.
And
I
I think
like
people
it.
are getting the competitors are still getting used to it. But it's been amazing to us to see how fast people's fight technique changes. Ooh, attempt to hit high over the defense by Becca Boyd. Let's see if she managed to get good cover by the buckler by Becca. A little bit of 133 system of fighting coming out from green.
Judges. 0 points, green.
All right, so green did not land anything. Did Becca manage to land the blow from above to the head? Unfortunately, no. Looks like it was covered.
Did either fighter throw 3 blows? No.
Okay.
None of them
So
finished their
they
flip.
did not
Red
finish.
lands 0 blows, has 2 stars remaining. Green lands 0 blows, has 4 stars remaining. Now fighting white and blue on deck, green and blue.
And while no one scored points, again, they were making attempts, and they were not being totally passive, and so they are to be commended.
And now there are 2 of my favorites.
Ah, yes,
I'm sorry to
Fran
have
and Kiana.
favorites, but Fran and Kiana
That's
are just
okay.
on my list. Because I have a list.
I'm pretty sure Kiana's going to kick Fran's ass. What do you think?
I think You want to bet out of this?
Yeah, I think maybe we need
okay,
to.
I'll go Fran, you go Kiana,
right,
and
all
what
right.
does the loser have to do?
I don't know. Okay, now that's not helpful for the bet.
0 points, blue.
Oh, because
0 points,
because you make the choice,
Either
I
fighter
win.
lands 3 blows.
So you owe me a chocolate now.
Really?
A sword. A sword.
0 blows landed.
Okay, fine,
for
I'll get you a
white,
chocolate sword.
5 stars remaining. 0 blows landed for blue. 2 stars remaining. Green and blue are fighting. Red and white are on deck.
Table. Ready. Judges. Fighters. Fight.
All right. Again, green using some techniques from the well-known 133, and it looks like she
That's
may
old
have.
stuff in the good way.
That's right. That's right. That's the earliest
1 point,
known
blue.
fencing treatise.
0 points, green.
Very
Blue
good.
throw 3 blows.
Yes.
So blue is going to get some very good points out of this.
Oh.
So
Green
clean.
lands 0 blows, has 4 stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, gains 1 star, has 3 stars remaining.
Nice.
Red and white.
Red and white. So blue made a clean exchange on that one, finished her blows, and therefore will gain the points as well as a star for the good defense.
Judges. Fighters. Fight.
And from my experience, Kiana is often a very aggressive fighter, and it's fascinating to watch that she's actually, she is trying to be, but covered.
Ooh.
Well, yep.
That was a nice one.
Nice, yep. So, a lot of activity on that one. A lot of activity. Let's see how clean it was.
0 points, red.
0 points red. So
3 points, white.
3 points white. So white did a great job of attacking and being covered.
And red
Okay.
Red.
And meanwhile, we're having Pure Marco sitting with us.
Pure Marco Terminiello. Fancy meeting you here.
Hi. Are we live?
Of course we're live.
Hi, people.
I mean, if,
Hi, people.
if you're not alive, we can talk a doctor. Some invasion.
So,
Winner of the round is white. With
Winner
4
of the
blows
round.
landed, 6 stars remaining.
nice.
Second place is blue. With
Blue.
3 blows landed.
Yay!
3 stars remaining.
Fran, second place, excellent.
Third
What did you-
is green. With
Okay, third
0
place green.
blows
So,
landed,
what did you think of
4
the fencing?
stars remaining.
For the fencing tonight?
Well, particularly this round, especially since you have a vested interest in
I thought it was pretty nice. It was,
Tie is broken on
we saw lots of cautious fighting.
Yep, that's right.
Lots of clean fighting.
Are we gonna have a winner? Or...
Yep, they announced winners already, which you may have missed.
Through the course of the weekend, we've seen people adapting to the
Right,
different
the rules,
different
yeah.
incentives and the
Context.
constraints of
Yep.
the. But I think here in the finals, we see.
Are we seeing good behavior?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's a
Yep.
very sweaty friend.
Ah, yes, Fran, joining
Which
us.
is good
Our
to have.
second place finalists. Very good. I was very impressed. So you had a number of rounds where you actually did it completely clean. So you did not hit at all, and you were able to land blows, right?
Yes.
So what does it take to do that?
I think when you lose the stars, then
Yeah.
you're obviously thinking about playing defensively.
Right,
and,
right.
That's when you start to think about different tactics.
Okay.
Rather than just moving forward,
Right.
you're more waiting on your opponent's action and,
Right.
and reacting off of that. I think to an extent.
So you need to do more setup, basically. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Seems
So-
like a good thing.
Yes, so one of the reasons why we have you guys here is because we have an exhibition on Italian versus Spanish versus French rapier.
Excellent.
And you two guys are rapier people.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Among other things, of course, but you're very known for knowing about rapier. So I was talking with you two guys, and I was mentioning, what's interesting or smart to ask about rapier. And there comes a suggestion of rapier myths.
Mm-hmm.
So the myths.
The myths of
Myths of rapier.
Yeah. And what are the big? The one that annoys me the most is that.
Bitch session. Here we go.
Is that rapiers don't cut, or you don't cut
Right.
with a rapier, or you
Right.
shouldn't cut with a rapier. If you look at the Spanish rapier, they have lots of cuts to the head.
Mhm.
Obviously people know George Silver saying, you only thrust, rapiers are just thrusting weapons, and
Right.
but then you look a bit deeper in the treatises, and
Gigante's second book of 1608 says, if you understand tempo and measure and how to thrust, but you can't defend and give cuts, you can hold yourself to know nothing. So that's a pretty strong statement.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk with you a little bit more about. You're known for your historical research work, and we'll come back to that, and we'll also talk about one of our great sponsors in terms of historical research, Acta Periodica Duolotorum, in just a bit. But before we do that,
we're about to start.
We're going to cut now to another exhibition. So we're going to alternate now with the fighting.
And Fabrice is making a very happy dance.
Yes,
Apparently
Fabrice Cagnon.
He's dying to fight. Let me see Fabrice.
That's right. So we're going to have Fabrice Cagnon actually doing French rapier. We're going to have Omar Rodriguez doing a Spanish rapier, and we're going to have Becca Boyd doing Italian rapier.
You know, this is the only fail that I find. Italian rapier should be done probably... Why he's not Italian? So Fabrice is from France, he's doing French. Omar is Spanish and Mexican, he's doing Spanish. We should change
Italians
the nationality.
Are very pretty, so that makes sense, right? Sure.
Sure.
I mean, the Italian, in terms of influence, the Italian and the Spanish schools sort of spread to many other countries. So.
Yep. Sure. Good enough.
So I really like this. Actually, it's funny because talking a little bit about Mexico, I'm sorry for putting my country in the map. Many people think well, Mexico might have nothing to do with HEMA, but actually rapier and rapier treaties ended up being written in Mexico because, when it was still part of Spain.
I remember McAllis talking about looking at the records of the masters that had been made in Mexico.
Oh, nice, very nice. Yes, and you look at that sort of pivoting footwork, which the Spanish style makes very, very much easier. I think the high upright allows you to do a lot of this pivoting work.
Yeah. So the Italian is more about the lunge typically.
The lunge, keeping that line, control of the line.
Whereas the Spanish have a much shorter lunge.
Yep. Oh, nice.
That was what I was talking about. The cuts to
the
head,
cut,
so.
exactly. And if I remember correctly, they'll do wrist cuts and elbow cuts and cuts from the shoulder.
Mostly to the head, but
right.
It's, it's a key part of the system. So.
Yeah.
So I'm a rapier, non-smart person. So those Spaniards always stick their arm like that?
Yeah, I mean that's a characteristic of the Spanish fencing. One of their key styles. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Talking about cutting with
exactly. Yeah. Very good. And now
the French.
Très bien, très belle. Je parle un peu français. And Fabrice is gonna punch me after saying this. I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
Now, I honestly don't know very much about the French rapier.
Yeah, I mean it's
characteristics.
Yeah, I mean it's very much influenced by the Italian.
Okay.
I know that Fabrice studies mainly Dancy, which, however, is a treatise that focuses a lot on on actual dueling and fighting to the death. So
Interesting. So this is kind of his cup of tea then.
Yeah. So there's.
Oh, look at that! So again, not all about thrusting.
So I have a question. For example, we see Fabrice making this pusher when he put his head thrust. He's like what? So those.
Oh, very good. Aha! Nice. Very good.
Because I mean, when you look into the history of dueling and the history of violence, the French in the late 16th century and the early 17th century had a reputation for being particularly bloodthirsty, if you like, and they had a full-blown dueling craze. So.
Yes. Oh, did you get that leg cut possibly?
Yes.
There you go. Fabrice returns the favor.
Yeah, nice fencing.
Yep. And you know what? So I have a question. I mean, so there's sort of different weapons, right? You think of like the long thin rapier versus the more of cut and thrust side sword. Really, do we need to spend so much time sort of distinguishing between these weapons in a tournament situation, or should we allow them to mix? I'm out on
In terms of the typology of the weapon, there's a really blurry line between what's a side sword and what's a rapier.
Right.
And in certain systems as well. However, because the side sword in particular is covers most of the 16th century. You really see a mix of styles. I mean, some treatises that we consider side sword contain really a lot of cutting. Others are a proto rapier or whatever you want to call it.
Sure. Yep.
So inevitably you get a matchup of styles.
Sure.
and weapon lengths.
So would you, if we actually did a skills challenge, a competition where we simply allowed people to sort of bring whatever they wanted in terms of a one-handed weapon, you feel that would largely work out?
Yeah, it could work. What you may see is if someone fights in a very different style to yours, you're limited to a subset of your technique.
Sure. It's a periodical. It's just come out, I think, as of last year.
I'm completely aware of it. I've spoken to them a little. I haven't contributed any articles yet.
Right.
But I've read some of the articles, and they're doing great stuff. And I think it's vitally important that we keep the research side of HEMA to the fore.
Right. Yep. I mean, that's how we got sort of a lot of the start in terms of where we get our ideas from, right? In terms of what is appropriate to train.
Absolutely. It's core. What defines HEMA isn't just fighting with historical weapons.
That's right.
It's HEMA is pivotal to HEMA is that you're actually fighting from a source.
Right.
So without the sources,
it becomes something else.
There's another awesome sponsor that we would like to mention, which is Blades.
Yes.
I mean, it's good to have the research, but you have to practice it, and sometimes you cannot get out of your house, and you use your longsword and you messed up your mom.
Yeah.
Yes, I will not say whether or not I've ever done that.
Because then your wife is gonna figure out, and you're gonna get
or my previous tenants or whatever. So yes, So M-Blades I think is actually a fantastic tool, which simply allows a lot of HEMA people to train more time. Right. I mean, they don't always have to go to their gym or whatever to find space. They can just do it, in their living room or wherever. And my understanding is that they've been using these short. It's basically a grip, one-handed, two-handed grip, made of weighted steel, but very short, and so you can do it within your room. And one of the things that M-Blades is doing now that's new is that they're sort of economy versions, which are not fully made of steel. There are other sort of less expensive components that are part of it. So we're excited to see, their product line grow.
Awesome.
So back to the subject, guys. I have you two because once again, very quickly, because our longsword guys are ready to go. We have, in the mixed weapons, we've seen a lot of weapons going on at the same time. So I would like you to have a very short one benefit and one disadvantage of practicing different weapons. If you can locate one-on-one, it will be very good, because I know you guys work with different stuff.
Right, yep.
One advantage is that, obviously if you train very different weapons, it hones a skill that you maybe don't work enough with your main weapon. So lots of longsword guys.
Right after this, we'll have blue Keith Cotter-Riley. And red Axel Peterson.
Okay, so in the past we've been doing all counted blows and applying it across different weapon forms. We are about to do it now for the afterblow, which I mentioned very early on. So this is afterblow based. As soon as there's a hit, they're going to stop the action, but give the other person just enough time to do an afterblow or revenge strike. So the dynamic will be different. The time, I believe, is 2 minutes with stoppages.
So thank you, Pim.
Thank you, Pim.
Thank you for being here. And I just have one thing to say.
Yes.
Shiny.
Ooh, good distance. Playing good distance.
Shiny is not a good explanation of my feelings right now.
It is if you're a Firefly fan. Nice, good distance. Feeling out that distance, because they will be penalized again in this system that we're using. Again, if there's either an afterblow, ooh, close, very good. If there's either an afterblow or double hit, they will lose stars. Again, we are using stars to denote the sense of their his arm is a little tired. Nathan Graperis there, shaking it off, trying to shake it off. It's not clear if it was a hit. Let's see if it was a hit, an injury, or if he's just a little tired. Okay. All right, so he's going to try to carry on here. On the right arm of red from blue. So now they're even, 1 point each. And again, these have been clean exchanges, no stars lost.
And I have to say that I just forgot what I was going to say.
That's
so
good.
Nathan,
Nice,
yes,
nice.
it's great because he just
Nice.
gave a workshop on shorty people,
Shorty people.
Nathan, fighting tall people.
The height disadvantage. Let's go with that.
The height disadvantage.
23 seconds remaining.
23 seconds, not much time left.
So-
And red may very well run out the clock. A hit from red on blue, I think, previously, 1 point with the shield. Hitting with the short edge. Ooh, did he? Oh, he managed to do a Geisler one-handed sling to the leg.
I think you can tell they're trying to be very defensive because
Oh, absolutely.
they're not
Absolutely.
getting close.
That's right. That's right. When they do get close, they're very guarded and then they get out very quickly.
Well, after there's so many hits to the arm,
I believe it's 2 all.
they will be able to give you a hand easier. You just have to drop it at you after they
All
cut
right,
it.
so this is critical. They have very few seconds left, and the question will be, can anybody come up with a good, clean way of hitting? Was there an afterblow? Was there an afterblow in time?
Judges?
No, it does not appear so. So
Contact blue.
blue
Target.
seems to have hit nice and long. Long thrust to either the shoulder or to the head. 1 point is what's being awarded.
Blue 3, red 2.
So 3-2 blue.
Time, please.
6 seconds remaining.
So Nathan is gonna run.
Yep, red's gonna have to run. There's 6 seconds to do something. 6 seconds to do something.
3. Just
Oh!
I swear I saw
So
one getting in.
red really trying to get that hit, even potentially at the expense, even at the conference. Absolutely, this is absolutely a conference situation, and I think this is a big key point for this event. To make sure that
my fingers right now.
Yeah. No, this is critical stuff, and this is where we have really encouraged the judges to conference, come together, especially in situations where clearly people have seen different things. They share that information in order to be able to come to a good judgment. So, even though it takes a little bit of extra time, advance, but at a penalty, so their opponent in the next round is actually given extra points. 2 points, I believe, is what we have decided. So. Let's see if those 2 points will make or break. Nice. Axel feeling that he's comfortably ahead. Nice parry and repost. Very good. And Keith Carter Riley really working to try and get in there.
Back to your places, judges, please. Judges?
All right.
That's a clear point for red to Axel.
Yeah, and
1 point red.
okay, very good. So was not
Red 3, blue 0.
so not to the head.
Ready.
So
Judges ready.
Keith really has to rush it if he wants to.
All right, here we go. Yep,
Over that.
Keith running out of time, looking for a way to catch up. And Axel very experienced at reading people,
Oh my
and
God.
certainly not making it easy on anyone.
I swear I'm about to jump from the table right now. And like this is like.
It's okay, Mariana. You don't need to be a Mexican jumping bean. I've always wanted to say that. Oh, yep. Looks like. I believe there was a hit from Axel on Keith Carter Riley's head.
He was like.
Now was it?
He totally ripped.
But
like,
it was a double. They're being cut. It's being called a double.
Oof.
So 1 star remaining.
Time?
Time, please.
48 seconds remaining.
48 seconds. So that's a fair amount of time.
Okay, we're ready? Judges ready?
So
Fighters
in
ready?
some sense, Axel is in a bit of a disadvantage because he needs to basically last long enough and not get hit. He needs to play good defense or
There was a point.
Yep. So
I think
so
it was
Axel
the
taking the
hand?
aggressive. Yep. Hand snipe. From below
Contact
false
red,
edge.
Quality. 1 point red.
All right.
Red
1 point.
4, blue 0.
Table ready.
All right. So
Judges
red
ready.
pulling ahead.
Fighters ready.
Axel
Fight.
just giving himself a comfortable lead, but trying very hard not to double out. He cannot double because he will. They will. You know. They will both lose this way.
And we're gonna keep the prizes.
That's right. I like that idea. All prizes in double double outs go to the commentators. All right. Develop products and
continue giving us money for
yeah,
this sponsor.
sure. Right. And I certainly have to mention the fact that they're contributing 500 in gift certificates for all of the participants here, as appropriate to the different winners. So
we have 2 guests.
Hello.
Introduce yourselves, humans.
My name is Michael Chittister.
I'm John Chandler. I'm glad to be on your planet.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So you 2 guys are actually in another planet, which is the planet of HEMA research, which I would love to be part of it, but I'm not smart enough to know how that works. So I was talking to you guys, and you both mentioned very specific, interesting areas. So for example, I was talking to Mike, for me, how weird is the idea of like, oh, they just found these new manuals. Like, yeah, great. They were just checking their grandmother's stuff and they found a book. So I was wondering, like, how that happens, how the discovering happens. And apparently there's an entire, investigation secret process to make it.
Well, it's not that secret, but basically what we find is that there's a whole lot of fencing manuals that have already been discovered by somebody. And that person is usually not somebody involved in historical European martial arts.
Outside the community, right?
Yeah, someone outside the community. So we end up with lots of museum catalogs and so on that have these things listed sitting in plain sight, and none of us have actually gone to look at them. So a lot of it happens just by browsing through museum collections, looking for interesting works. There are also a lot of catalogs of historical sources that have been made in years past that we have to go through and verify, especially things from the 1800s. Sometimes aren't as accurate as you wish they were. And a lot of people are going through looking for those books and finding physical copies. Like when we found a copy of the 1608 Giganti, Pier Marco had lots of references to it, but no one knew if it ever existed or not. And ultimately, he discovered the only known copy in a collection in England.
In fact, Giganti had been ridiculed for centuries by other fencing masters for not having written it, because it was not available.
And so he found one reference to a guy who claimed to have seen it,
Pierre
and did the detective work to find it. Yeah, Pier
Marco has a special spot in heaven for finding that.
HEMA heaven, absolutely.
That book is very useful. It really
closes
a lot of gaps.
Right. What surprised you from that source?
How important cutting is in Italian.
Right, as we certainly mentioned. Yep.
A lot of strategic ideas that I see in Spanish sources or Iberian sources and German sources that we didn't know that were also in Italy. So we're now seeing a lot more commonalities and still the differentiation in every region. Everybody's got their own style. But the second Giganti puts a lot of this stuff together in ways that help you understand how it all flows.
Yeah, actually, remembering another comment we have, very briefly, you were talking about the importance of culture when it comes to research and when it comes to all the HEMA process.
I'm a context guy, so while Michael finds the manuals and brings them out to make them available to us and helps them understand what they are, I try to look at the environment that the people lived in that did the fencing and who the fencing masters were, what kind of life they had. And we've recently figured out that people in a lot of these towns that the fencing manuals come from were all carrying swords all the time, so they had a need to have a reason to know how to use them.
Okay. All right. So I think we're going to remind the audience of a couple of vendors that we actually mentioned earlier, but we had some audio issues with. So Albion Swords, Arms and Armor. We are very, very, very grateful to them for sponsoring us for a number of years now to basically allow us the privilege of trying to launch the cutting stuff, the cutting tournaments, and getting them off the ground. So thank you, Mike and Jean-Marie. So again, Albion contributed a donation of a one-handed sharp sword called the Knight. It's their Knight model. Fantastic sword. We did some demonstration cutting with it, and hopefully folks will see that footage either previously or in a future upload. Also, Arms and Armor gave both a single gift certificate of $500, which is fantastic because it means that whoever gets that will likely be able to put that towards a significant portion of their own sharp, hopefully, which is kind of the intention, and then a number of other assorted items. And again, these two sponsors cannot be thanked enough for everything they've done.
And now we're moving on to what are we moving on to?
I don't know, something interesting. Probably the finals.
Probably the finals.
And someone that we love so much, and has helped us out so much with so many things, including this brawl.
Now we're moving to more longsword.
Yep, I believe the finals for the invite.
So this is the finals. And while the finals happen,
Right.
So while the finals happen,
so we're going to start with third and fourth place.
yes.
And as we are waiting for them to set that up,
I would just like to mention another sponsor we have missed, which is Esfinges.
Esfinges, absolutely.
Sure. So I just wanted to mention that one. And there was another one, which is... They're confusing me. I'm sorry. I just watching people with swords and I confuse.
All right. We'll come back to sponsors in a moment.
Third and fourth place in blue, Nathan Graperis. In red, Keith Cotter Riley.
Yeah. So.
Table ready? Judges ready. Fighters ready?
For third and fourth place, Nathan Graperis against Keith Cotter Riley. All right, again, feeling out the distance. Oh, yeah, nice parry.
Nathan
Was the parry successful? Yes, the parry was successful.
Contact, blue,
And a hit to the head.
I think Nathan was his third. Like, they take it from me once. I want it
Blue, 3 points. Red, 0 points.
1 minute, 50 seconds remaining.
All right.
Table ready?
Now, in this format,
Judges ready.
a hit in this format, a hit to the head is 3 points, and a hit to anything below the shoulder line is 1 point. So,
Ooh.
nice,
Oh.
nice hit to the hand.
Judges.
So that's going to be 1 point.
Contact, blue.
Right, so that should be 4-0 blue.
1 point blue.
Blue, 4 points. Red, 0 points.
4-0 blue.
1 minute, 43 seconds remaining.
And again, both fighters
Fighters ready?
collectively
Ready? Fight.
have a single pool of stars, 5 stars, still full. These have been clean exchanges, which is what we want to see. We want to see clean fencing. All right, Keith needing to come back from behind. Oh, and again, Nathan fantastically good.
That's so
and just
Judges.
making sure that he's covered for
I'm-
multiple
Contact.
tempi.
Blue.
Sorry. Flipped it.
Following.
Yep. So
1
again,
point
1
blue.
point, 1 point.
Nathan is
Fantastic,
rocking it out.
yeah,
Blue,
absolutely.
5 points. Red, 0 points.
For all of us that love technical fencing, this is a great display.
Judges ready? Fighters ready. Fight.
All right, so Nathan, is he going to just play the defense game, or is he actually going to change things up? Let's find out. All right, looks like he's playing a fairly amount of defense, but he's tempting. He's tempting Keith into doing something that he can use. Ooh, yes. So it looks like Red managed to hit on the way out. Question is, where did he hit? Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Purple Heart. Purple Heart, we cannot forget Purple Heart. So we're going to talk about Purple Heart because I'm asking Natasha to come over here so that she can tell me very directly what she needs. Okay, well, let's talk about sparring gloves, which I did mention. I did mention that they're awesome. They're awesome. What else would you like to say? Seriously, they're the best. They're the best sparring gloves, in my opinion, that are on the market right now. And also the fact that they actually have sort of a more economical line that is coming out that people can use.
Final round of the Invitational Afterblow Tournament. In blue, Casper Anderson. In red, Axel Peterson.
the sword up high, able to cover it.
Afterblow on blue.
No score.
No score.
12 seconds remaining. Red 2, blue 0.
All right, so this is a case where now the fact that the stars have been exceeded and they are no longer penalized for losing the stars, we may very well see blue just trying to hit as much as he can and hope that part of it's clear. Yep. And red actually very cleverly using the same tactic.
Contact red, quality. 1 point red.
So now it's all about just getting clean points as much as possible.
Red 3, blue 0.
Time.
5 seconds remaining.
5 seconds. Will Casper go for the head? Will Casper go for a throw? Those are pretty much his only options. Throw or headshot. Oh, did he get it? He may have gotten that. But probably an afterblow. Probably an afterblow situation, in which case, no star. Oh, please conference. Please conference.
Yes.
Oh. These are those tricky situations. Everybody knows what the attempt was, and the question.
No, I saw this. No, I saw this.
Yes,
No, I saw
that's right.
this.
How do now? This is the tough job of being a judge and a ref. They need to make a fair, accurate call here, and different people saw different things. So again, the conference here super critical.
My rational crazy version is that if you get an afterglow, 1 point for one side and 1 point for the other, for me that often means a double. With angle
again,
issues.
that's yeah, right. That's absolutely right. So when you factor all those different perspectives in, you know that there's a very good chance that's true. And again, with these rules, you know that's actually in Axel's favor. He's timing out basically. He's
you know, in this conference, I really like to see the fighters. It's very horrible when you have to stop because that easily makes you lose focus, and you can see in their faces how they're.
Yeah, they're staying focused. Yep,
yes.
They're staying focused. Yep. Yeah, and you know that is one of the things about tournament fencing, which I think is really fantastic. The fact that it really gets you to focus intensely on, you know, really, you know, focusing on things that really make a difference on your fencing. That's a great way, as people have said, the stress test, really stress testing your not only your physical skills but your mental skills. All right, so what are they going to decide?
3 point thrust for blue.
Red 3, blue 3.
Oh my goodness. So they are going to give a clean attack from blue on red, which makes it a tie. And now it's all even and people need to be super careful. So Axel trying to finish it quickly. Did he?
Get out of the ring. That's a point for ring out.
Actually, that's a good point. There's a good point about the ring out. Yep, there's a good point about ring out. And we'll see if the judges and refs put that into consideration.
No exchange.
Okay, nothing is going to be given for that.
Good luck for Axel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, round will continue in sudden death.
Sudden death continues.
Judges ready. Ready. Fighters ready. Fight.
Point. Oh, looks like an afterblow though. To a very sensitive
Judges.
spot.
Oh, come on.
Point for blue. Quality.
Interesting. Interesting.
Point for blue.
Match blue.
So again, that was a chance for a conference, but they declined to take it.
They hung at the end. And moving to my face. What's going on next? My face
Okay,
is boring.
so we are running to the end of our program here. We are going to be finishing with the final pool from the open longsword in a few moments. Before we do that, a very important message about other events in the HEMA community. So I cannot speak highly enough of some of our sort of sister events that are out there in the community, notably Long Point, that I'm sure everybody in America knows these days, especially because of the New York Times video and article that came out recently, as well as Combat Con, which is another fantastic event that sort of blends both, I believe, where history and fantasy meet is their tagline. So you get a sense of both the historical as well as the fantasy and stage components of this. So both of those events are providing free registration for their events for winners at this event. So, and we hope to do the same for them.
Are we aware of other events?
Oh yes,
That's why I'm here.
Yes, yes, another fantastic event. Natasha Darce, would you like to tell us about the Purple Heart Open?
Really quickly, the Purple Heart Open is coming up March 20th through 22nd in Houston. We will have 4 different events this year, and we will have our feast at our Texas Castle again.
Oh, Texas Castle.
Texas Castle. So
is it as fantastic as it sounds?
Yes, we do have. We have some big plans this year,
Ooh.
so everybody sign up for that. We do have an event page on Facebook. So
awesome.
Can I make like a shorty list of events I know that happen around the world?
Yes.
So we have
Can you really come up with a short list?
Yes. So we have Swordfish
in
in Europe. We have ILH.
Okay, actually, so
and
we have a demonstration. Let's go through that.
Move to it. Yeah. So we have Montante exhibition.
All right. So.
And moving on.
So James Clark from I believe Virginia or Maryland, down there. He's showing a number of demonstrations of the Montante, basically the Portuguese greatsword, and these are actually historical, documented movements that he has done quite a bit of research on.
That was beautiful.
So, for such a large weapon, you see that it's actually used in a very, very elegant and flourishy kind of way. It can be used quite a bit in solo forms, but also to do crowd control is sort of a historical context.
Something that I love about this is that these huge swords were used in boats. So there are ways to use this, of course, right. to do it in a way that you keep like a straight line.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
very nice.
That was beautiful.
Very good. Okay, thank you, James Clark. Very quickly, 2 more sponsors. Regagne Armory and Hema Supplies. Hema Supplies definitely has to be mentioned because they have provided us basically much of our tournament gear and the weapons as well as some protective gear for the use of the tournament. So for a lot of the people fencing today, it was critical that Hema Supplies basically loaned that to us so that they could fence. The other thing is Regagne Armory, a great producer of quality tournament sparring weapons, steel faders, and is gifting us with a black fader for the winner of one of the Longsword Finals. Speaking of Longsword Finals, we have now with us Nathan Graperis and Axel Peterson, who may have been a little bit busy not too long ago.
Who would have thought they would be fighting after we interviewed them?
Any thoughts between the last time we talked with you and now?
What do you mean?
Has anything changed?
If we changed our minds about tournaments?
Yes, perhaps. I don't know. No?
Pretty solid idea about
it. Good.
I'm so sorry. I feel so guilty about having you guys talking about those fights. By the way, I'm your fan. Like, that was amazing. So, pretty much, I don't even know if I should ask you more things because what I saw right there was technique clean and nice that takes a lot of training, that takes a lot of effort, a lot of investigation. So I guess my last question to do is, how do you approach manuals so you can have this happening?
Excuse me, what?
How do you approach manuals? How do you work with manuals so you can end up being
the
this
manuals.
awesome?
Oh, the manuals.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Well, a lot of it is conceptual, but I also think that a lot of fencers would pick, besides the conceptual basic defense and offense, a couple of techniques that they will be so comfortable with.
Focus on, right.
They will be able to perform it under such pressure. And that repertoire grows as you acquire more manual knowledge. So, I mean, if we limit our games in a tournament just because we are so only comfortable with just maybe a few techniques than what we can pull off in sparring, imagine how few techniques we might use if we were fighting for life or death, where the stress is so much higher.
Right, right.
So there's no surprise that often the technique training and sparring at home is much more technical than what you see here, just because of added pressure and chaos.
All right. And Nathan, I know you're about to go fight out there, so do you have any thoughts of what you just did and what you're about to do?
Hit and don't get hit.
Is that the lesson you would say people should have learned from this event?
Maybe.
Maybe?
The rule set in particular for the Open poses some interesting problems, but also creates some interesting situations. But yeah. I believe I'm being called.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. So you need to go
thank you
fence.
very
Go do your
much,
thing.
guys.
Go do your thing.
And
Yep.
we're going. And we're going to somewhere. What's going on now?
So they are getting ready for their final, and we are rapidly winding down.
This is too much. I can no longer handle it.
No.
Finals for the Open Longsword.
I'm stressed in a good way. This is exciting. This is
White.
You're
Grant
good. You're
M.
good.
In green, Charles M. In blue, Andrew S.
That's a gross joke.
I don't know why you went there, but that has not made that any more appetizing for me.
I'm sorry.
Now fighting, red and blue on deck, white and green.
Are there nuts in the water?
Blue.
No? Okay, I was just checking.
Tables. Ready. Judges. Fighters. Ready? Ready. Fight!
Okay, sorry. Oh, I said we had to go back.
Halt! Good. 0 points, blue. 0 points, red.
Did either fighter throw 3 blows?
Both fighters threw 3 blows.
Red has 0 points, or landed 0 blows, gains 1 star, has 5 stars remaining. Blue landed 0 blows, gains 1 point, has 5 stars remaining. Now fighting. White and green on deck, red and green.
Ready. Judges. Fighters. Fight!
Okay, you can tell we're just excited because we're so quiet.
Yeah.
Halt!
Oh, nice. Nice control. Fantastic.
0 for green. 0 points, green. 0 points, white.
Okay.
Either fighter threw 3 blows.
Both did.
Wow, excellent. So a defended round. Both finished enough offensive actions and nobody hit, meaning that they were defended while they did it.
0 blows, gains 1 star, has 5 stars remaining.
So both of them gained a star.
Now fighting red and green on deck, white and blue.
Red and green. Red and green.
And in case people could
Hold
not
your
tell,
horse.
we are back to
Ready.
counted
Judges.
blows. Final counted blows
Fighters. Ready.
for the
Fight!
Oh.
I saw hands, and now I see an arm,
Halt!
and now I see nothing.
All right. That's right. So again, a little bit of a switch up here. They are not going to stop that action just because somebody gets hit. So they're going to stop it only when both people have thrown 3 blows. A minimum of 3 blows.
I got confused for a second.
That's right. Yeah. I know it's and imagine if we're it's hard to switch for us. Imagine how difficult it is for the judges. So I believe they are actually not entirely set. They are certainly using different judges, but there are at least one judge that I see that I think is doing both.
1 point, green.
Mentally
2
challenging.
points, red.
Red lands 2 blows, loses 1 star, has 4 stars remaining. Green lands 1 blow,
So
loses
2 to
1
1.
star, has
So
4 stars
what
remaining.
we would call an
Now
unclean
fighting white
round.
and blue.
If red had hit and managed to parry fully, then he would have been clean with 2 blows. But because he was hit once, he is unfortunately going to lose a star. In fact, both of them will.
So
Fighters?
can you brighten me with
Fight.
the names of our fighters?
Okay, so we have Andrew Schultz in blue, and I think that's Graham Meyer from Maine. So actually, Andrew Schultz is from my club, Forte Swordplay in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, proud instructor right here.
That's right, I am. I am. Andy, he does not have the best tournament record, not because he's not a good fencer, but because he focuses on technique. He focuses on sort of variety of technique without necessarily prioritizing the things that he needs in order to gain
White
points.
lands 0 blows, has 5 stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, gains
Blue
1 star,
manages
has
to
6
land
stars remaining.
1 blow
Now
clean.
fighting green and blue. On deck.
So he's going to
red
get that
and
point
white.
as well as 1 star,
Mid.
1 star
Fighters, fight!
added to his total. All right, so green and blue. We have Charles Murdoch from Vermont. Okay, so green managed to get 1 blow there, it looks like. Ooh, I think blue got another one.
Halt!
Yeah. So let's see how this works out. It's probably a unclean round, at least.
Actually, I think I saw
1
2
point,
from green.
blue.
Could be.
2 points, green.
So
Green lands 2 blows, loses 1 star, has 3 stars remaining. Blue lands 1 blow, loses
So
1
2 to
star,
1.
has 5 points or 5 stars
again,
remaining.
unclean,
Now
so
fighting
both of them will lose
red
1
and
star.
white.
2 to 1.
Ref.
All right.
Yes. Maggots, the code standing for red and white.
Scores for red and white.
Scores for red, 2 blows, 4 stars. Scores for white, 0 blows, 5 stars.
Ooh, so actually, white is ahead because
Okay,
he has been
ready.
very good on defense, but has
Judges.
not actually thrown any blows.
Fighters.
So
Nathan took
Nathan,
the advantage to the
Fight.
fact that he can talk to the referee to figure out
Yeah.
his score and know where he's standing on.
so Nathan, trying to figure out what the right cost-benefit analysis is here, and he's deciding.
pushing.
He is deciding to simply bank his stars, bank his points. Oh, yep. So he's choosing not to take any risk and to just keep his score as is.
0 points, white. 0 points, red.
Either fighter throw 3 blows.
No. Other way. What's that?
So they're still running. Okay, sorry.
0 points,
Zero
red.
either.
0
It's
points,
0 for
white.
both, so.
That actually is
I was only paying attention to one.
No, it's good. There you go.
Unheard of.
So that was
Good habit.
same score.
Either fighter throw 3 blows.
No.
Okay,
That
so
means there's not going to be extra star.
yep. So they just keep whatever scores they had previously.
The winner is blue with 2 blows, 5 stars.
Wow. Andrew Schultz from Forte Swordplay is the winner.
Second place is red with 2 blows, 4 stars, 6 points total.
Very good.
Third place is green with 3 blows, 3 stars, 6 points total, tie broken on stars.
Charles Murdoch, winner, 3rd place.
White has 0 blows, 5 stars.
All right, very good.
That's good on there.
All right.
Woo! So you know what that means?
All right.
Hand up to me.
I would suppose so.
Is that-
That means
Are we getting to
now. Which also means that we're getting at the end of this. Mr. Jeff is taking the speaker.
All right, folks. So we are running late, so I really have just 2 questions. 2 questions for everybody. Are we tired?
No!
Wow, you guys are tougher than I am. Are we satisfied?
Yes! Woo!
All right, so this is Jeff Tsai signing off from IGX 2014. See you next year.
All right, go for the crowd. Good show. You can do it for the crowd, my goodness.